Ladies and gentlemen, all right, welcome to the first ever, coming straight from a hotel room in Los Angeles, the first ever flank, coming to you live on twitch.tv/ZooMaa, here at Call of Duty Champs. Let's get it going. I'm joined by my friend, my companion, my duo, the one and only. It's fucking Ben JC, ladies and gentlemen. You already know who the fuck it is.
You know the fucking vibe, bro.
Ben, how you doing? Say something.
I'm doing good, Tom. Been in LA for a couple of days, getting that sunshine. Was at the venue today. That was a great time. Shout out everyone. But listen, Tom, you know why we're here, bro. Here to talk about some fucking Call of Duty, man.
You been drinking?
A little.
We've been drinking, papaya, you fucking name it. Fucking, you know, we're having a good time, man. We're at the event, and listen, man, a lot of energy in that venue, bro. Yeah. A lot of energy in that venue. We've been having an absolute blast, but I'll tell you, there's somebody that I've really been missing in my heart that's not here with me in Los Angeles. But he is here with us today, brought to you live at a TeamSpeak back home in Toronto. Anthony Zinni, a.k.a. Big Tony, a.k.a. Methods. What's going on, Zinni? Zinni! What's happening, kid?
First things first, I have reason to believe that Ben is hammered. Secondly...
I'm not hammered, but it's all good, bro.
He's drunk, but not hammered, I think.
Secondly, I wish I was there with you guys, man. It's tough, but listen, I'm here. It's better than nothing. The stage looks dope. The crowd looks dope. The games are going to be dope. I mean, it's only Thursday, and we had some fucking bangers.
Some absolute fucking bangers, yeah.
Oh, dude, insane matches today. Insane. I was losing my shit in the crowd, especially during the New York OpTic match.
Oh, 100%, bro.
Because the whole crowd was OpTic, and I was in the front, just New York. So every time New York did something, I'd turn around there. Everybody was sitting down. I was like, yeah, like a fucking moron.
Were you and Clay turning at the same time would be fucking funny.
Yeah, well, see, I was right in the front row. I was talking to Paco. Every time Paco did something good, right? He like when he got the 3-piece in S&D, he would look at me and go like this. And I said, yeah, Paco, you fucking animal. You're an animal, kid. It was fucking hilarious. I was actually crying. Every time he did something good, he would look up between the monitors and look at me in the front row and just give me a thumbs up and start smiling. Like, dude, I fucking love this guy.
Bro, that like screenshot of Paco that someone took that's on Twitter. Where he's like in the bottom and like...
Yeah. But chat, listen, today's show is brought to you by Astro Gaming. This wouldn't be possible without Astro, man. Astro hooked it up with a lot of stuff. They made my job a lot easier. And they also came out with some new microphones, and we're going to play a commercial for you right now. And I want you guys to take a look and let me know what you think. So let's get a Astro in the chat, show these guys some love, and let's tune in to the commercial. In 3, 2, 1. Communication. Get it. Astro Gaming and Blue Microphones. New Ice Pop microphones. Astro Gaming and Blue Microphones. More light headset power 5,000. You deserve better. Get better. Call 1-800-ASTRO-HEADSETS now. We got your Astro headsets. We got your Blue Microphones. We got your Astro headsets with the Blue Microphones.
Are you serious?
I don't joke about this kind of thing. Do you have bad comms? Get him out of here. Astro Gaming headset. Blue Microphone. Put it together just like that. You're already done. So easy.
Oh, what are you looking at?
Get better. Call now at 1-800-BlueMicrophones.com. Get communication today, or we're gonna have some problems. Undisputed.
It's a good product. He's a good salesman.
That was incredible.
Maybe needs to get a new tie, but that's all good, man. It's just a commercial. Bro, take it out of the box, man. It's actually kind of
Yeah, this is insane. So Ben walked into the room and he said, "What is that?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Don't worry about it. It's something special that's on the way." And Ben goes, "You need to get me one of these because that looks insane."
Yeah.
And there you go, Ben. You got your own Astro A40s. Look, custom made New York subliners. Mono. You look like $1 million fucking dollars.
I look like I'm pulling up on main stage. About
Jesus, but I'm going to wear this during the show. I'm going to keep it OE just like it is so we can show it off during the show like this. But Zinni, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I saw it. How long ago did you send that to me?
I sent that to you about a month ago.
I said, that is incredible.
It was like an 8-hour shoot, my guy.
It's truly a really good ad, and usually ads suck.
No, it's a good one, right?
Yeah,
it's good.
That's true.
It's funny. The editing was good. I like that old school kind of look where I feel like remember back when you were like super young and you wake up at 3 a.m. and it'd be all those infomercial ad type things. It brought me back. It brought me back to then.
Yeah, no, 100%. That was the goal from it all. That was the goal from it all, and I was super uncomfortable during it because I was out of my element a little bit. You know, like filming a commercial, people were like filming me and stuff, and I was kind of like acting in a way, like kind of like acting and. They said I did a really good job. Zinni's quiet, by the way. Let's see if we can turn him up.
It was dope.
Yeah, they were saying that it was that it came out really good. I thought it was gonna be cringe, and then once they edited it and showed it to me, I thought it was really good. So it was really cool. Guys, we're gonna try and turn Zinni up, and then we'll start fucking talking about the shows. How about now, Zin talk?
Hello, hello, hello. How do I sound? Ladies and gentlemen,
now.
It's an absolute pleasure to be here today. The ad was incredible. Astro Gaming, you did a phenomenal job.
Thank you, Zin. You sound fantastic, by the way. Everybody thinks you sound great, but let's get into it.
Phenomenal, Zen.
Let's get into it. Let's change over. Let's switch scenes. Let's get right into the mix, guys. We had a lot of COD to watch today. We have over 7,000 people in here. I hope you enjoyed the Astro commercial. Once again, shout out to Astro. And chat, we will be giving away 2 headsets with the Ice Pop, the blue Ice Pop Blue Astro Gaming microphones. Okay, guys? So stay tuned after the show. I'm giving away 2 of these in my chat, so stay tuned. Go ahead, Ben. What are your thoughts about the first match? We kicked things off today with a fucking banger. Dallas Empire going up against the Minnesota Rokkr. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
1, Shotzi's a fucking animal.
Yeah.
2, Minnesota disappointed me a little bit today. They didn't look like themselves. And I heard their practices haven't been going well, and I want to see what you think. And do you want to tune into the listening?
The listening was a little messed up. So I'm
okay, then screw it. But I want to see what you think about the vetoes and kind of about the match, and then we'll get into what Zinni has to say, and we'll get into it.
I just think Minnesota got steamrolled, man. Like, first off, Shotzi didn't miss an entire bullet that series.
He's gross, bro. Yo, Zin, he could play, dude.
Shotzi's unbelievable. Shotzi's unbelievable. But listen, before we get into it, I want to say shout out to Alex Golden Boy Mendez, because it's a pleasure seeing him up there. Golden Boy, if you guys don't know who Golden Boy is, he's been around literally for such a long time. He used to come back to the NJ Halos in Jersey and sit there and cast back when we had 100 people in a room. It's a pleasure to see him there. So shout out Golden Boy.
Yeah, shout out to Golden Boy. I mean, dude, he's a legend, bro. Like, I mean, that's like a day one. That's like an OG. So to have Golden Boy back to bring back some nostalgia is fucking incredible. But we kicked things off in this first map here in a Moscow hardpoint. And from what I remember, Shotzi was unkillable through the first couple minutes. I'm pretty sure he started off on a crazy streak, was able to get full streaks, and then ended up 25-10 at the end of the game. It was just the way he was able to hit different routes, play a lot of off angles, a lot of creddies. You guys know Shotzi, man. He's a nerdy player. His movement's really good, but he's smart. The way he plays around the map is very smart, very methodical, and I'm a big fan, as well as everybody else. Zinni, I heard the Minnesota guys, and I want to get your opinion on this too, haven't been playing that well in practice. I heard they have been horrible in practice. Like, I heard they haven't been winning maps. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, it doesn't really shock me, and that's not really a dig at Minnesota, but it's like, it goes to show that
they're a great team. They just won.
Listen, every team at this tournament is a solid team. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They had a super hot weekend at the most recent major, and I feel like it all came down to like their first series win. And here they just didn't show up that hot. Another thing is Dallas is also a really good S&D team. So Minnesota, obviously, they're saving grace, and their main thing is how good they are at search. But Dallas is like sort of right there with them, right? Maybe not on the same level as of late, but like definitely potential to be one of the top S&D teams. So when you're not taking respawns against them and they're taking searches, Dallas is scary, man.
Yeah, that's the Dallas we've been waiting for all seasons in, because for the most part this year they've kind of not been that good of an S&D team. But we've seen flashes of it at times, and I feel like Major 5 in this, they've started to kind of come around that game mode. They're going to need that in their back pocket when they get kind of later in this tournament. I think on the Minnesota side, to Tommy's point about how scrims weren't going well, I felt like in this series, especially these first couple maps, we've seen good teams win an event, but the first series they play on land was an absolute dud. And I think this is just what happened to Minnesota, man. Then they pulled up, and teamwork wasn't there. They were kind of relying too much on the gunning and the playmaking, and they're making it too easy for a guy like Shotzi who's going to find those gaps. If your coverage is not good, and he's going to get those 2 or 3 pieces. No,
100%. I think for me, with Minnesota's, I wonder if maybe just like, you really think it was just the first series back? You think that affected them?
We've seen like Rise in World War II at a couple of events where they just like lost their first one. It happens, man. You pull up to land, you get the emotions, you're like feeling all that.
Just too hyped up.
And you have a dud series, like it's going to happen. That's the problem with this format. And we'll get to like the losers finals, like. At least they had the luxury where they could lose the series and then, well, we got to play later today. Let's regain. Let's get back in the tournament. But go ahead, Zen.
So, I mean, you also have Dallas, who is, like, obviously pissed off with their major performance, right? Like, this is a top team. They've been looking better and better. So they're coming in, and, I mean, like, Krim, they're motivated. And not only that, like, they're confident. Like, this is a team that, I mean, you literally have 3 world champions on the roster right now. So they're definitely trying to go back-to-back. Also, I wonder if there was maybe a bit of pressure from Minnesota, right? I mean, the talk has sort of been all around them since you win, right? And it is kind of tough when you win. I mean, when you do win, there is so much footage, and every team is sort of looking at you. Okay, this is what Minnesota was doing in search. This was working well, so I'm sure they went back, and Brian and Jake, and they were coming with all new strats and whatnot. So it's difficult, man. You know, obviously, like they're trying to ride that momentum into the tournament, but at the same time, there's a bullseye like right on their back. Everybody knows what they do. They sort of have to work on the fly and come up with a bunch of new strategies. So I don't know. I think overall my takeaway is good gameplay from Dallas, and this is sort of looking like the Minnesota that we saw prior to the most recent major.
Yeah, I like that, Zin. Real quick before we continue, because I do want to make sure you guys have a good experience, because it is the first day we're doing it, guys. So if there are any problems, I see a lot of people saying way too low, which is completely fine, guys. If there's a problem, I don't mind adjusting it mid-show since it's the first day. We're going to have a long weekend of shows.
I turned the audio up a little bit more, so I think hopefully it's a little bit better.
Who's low? Is it us or Zinni?
I think it was us, but I turned the gain up on the mic now. I think we're good.
We sound fine, I think. I think it was Zinni who's too low.
I fixed it. It's all good.
Bro, the
No, I
volume
think
is
I'm
fine.
fine.
It's
I
fine?
think-
Okay.
Yeah,
good.
listen, it's our first
good
show,
now.
guys.
Good
We'll get
now.
better
Yeah,
after we
check, because we also don't hear the stream. So we don't hear it, you know? We don't know if it's good, but I'm glad it's fine. I'm glad it's okay. I just want to make sure everybody has the best viewing experience. But, Zinni, I think you hit it on the nose, man. I think you hit it on the nose, and I do want to highlight Illy a little bit, because I'm impressed by Ender, man. I am, because I just feel like so many people were giving him so much flack early on. And I like that Dallas didn't lose faith in the kid. Like, I like that they kept him on a roster. They knew what he's capable of, and you're seeing it now. And I think that's a good... I think Illy's just a perfect example of somebody who is just going through a slump and is able to bring himself out of it. I think a lot of people don't... I think you got to give more credit to that, because being someone who used to play professionally, I'm sure Zin understands as well, sometimes you just go through slumps. Like, sometimes you feel like you're not playing well.
I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry.
No, don't worry
I
about
also
it,
want to
Zin. Go
shout out
ahead.
Krim. I want to shout out Krim on the topic of Ender. I remember when Ender was struggling, like Krim was talking to a bunch of us in TeamSpeak and was like, I think Ian has matured a lot, whereas I think maybe back then, if you're struggling, right, and you have a strong personality like Krim on the team, it can sort of get worse. Whereas now, from what I know, Ian has become a much better, I guess, comforting teammate, right, and bringing up Ender. So, I mean, like, I want to give props to Krim as well for helping the people around him sort of keep that confidence, even when the stats aren't necessarily displaying what those players would want, or when the fans are ganging up on Twitter. I think he has a lot to do with the mindset of that team. And just want to give him a quick shout out too.
No, 100%. I think Porter is an absolute beast. I've always been a big fan of Porter. See, for me, even when he was a little bit of a he's still a fucking nut jobs in. Don't get it twisted.
He's out of his mind.
Look at his fucking haircut. He looks like he's ready to fucking pop off. But he's a good dude. Like, he's smart, you know, and he understands people. Like, he hears people out. You can have a conversation with him, even if he's flipping out. He still listens to you and still talks to you. I don't like when people don't let me talk, or never let me listen. Like, I noticed when I played with Krim in the past, even the 2 weeks I was with OpTic, if he ever yelled at me for something, I was always able to talk to him about it, rather than a teammate just constantly, you know, belittling me and just not respecting me and not hearing me out. Because then there'll be times where I said something to Krim, and he'll be like, you know what, you're right. I was wrong. Like, Krim has said things to me where he'll think I'm right and he's wrong. And that's just like a respect thing. And that's what I love about Porter, is that he's a good teammate. You know, a lot of people, you know, sometimes, you know, I talk about team culture and shit, and people come across as Tommy saying, oh, you just got to be soft, you got to be, have fun, you know, be a happy guy at all times. No, I like when teammates yell and get on each other and try and get better, but there needs to be a respect.
And if you're if you're too soft, then you get a culture of, well, losses don't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no like, the players all need to be accountable to each other. And when you're like two into one side of those box, either the accountability is off or you're too accountable and people are nitpicking.
Right, and then that's when sometimes people will get to the point where they're like, oh, Tommy, you're soft, or that guy's soft. And no, I'm not soft. I just like to be respected. I don't like when I talk and it goes through one ear and out the other, and you're not even listening. I can tell you're not even listening to what I'm saying. And it's just a whole... That's where the problem immenses. So for me, I agree with Zinni. I think the whole Dallas roster needs love,
well,
to be honest.
I want to give love to this round, Tom. This was this nice little shot to
So
clutch
speak to me, Ben. What happened here?
So we're going to set up Rokkr. We're going to do a little bit of a classic A hit. Dylan gets a really good kill at the pillars. And they're going to kind of set up for your traditional A sort of defense here. And one thing they kind of end up doing is Preston's going to plant this bomb, and he's not going to be able to really hold ring. So they're going to get kind of trapped in a laundry there, right? Because Dallas has got middle. They've got Art. They got a guy watching the full flank from that like annoying tree spot. And it's kind of watch how it plays out. Minnesota just don't really have a lot of room to operate. A lot of kills do go down, but ultimately it's going to be a situation where Shots is going to end up making a play and getting the defuse.
Yeah, no, and honestly, it's just a good play from Shotzi, like you said. Just that individual talent. And if I remember correctly, Dallas ran away with this one pretty easily, right? This 3-0 was quick, guys. This was a quick 3-0. I remember it was dominant out of Dallas, and that's why I wanted to talk about Minnesota's struggles a little bit. But I also think it's just a good showing because it's Dallas, and you know what they bring to the table. I thought Minnesota Rokkr had Dallas's number all year. I went with Minnesota before this match. I did, and I was completely wrong. Dallas came out and shut me up and shut Minnesota up. And that's where I start to wonder, can you see Minnesota making a run, especially after their bounce back at the last major?
I think they can, and we'll get to their second series they played today, but like they got a win under their belt. They're making it to the next day. Yeah, now you're in losers, so your margin for error is basically 0. But maybe they needed that, you know? Maybe they needed a little bit of that motivation to say, hey, well, we have sort of a few weeks ago, we kind of got to that top, right? We were playing our peak teamwork, but we can't get lazy because it's an event with 8 very good teams. All have been preparing for weeks. What they know is the last time they're going to plug the controllers in the CDL this year.
And for me, like watching Minnesota, you know, they definitely, obviously they got 3-0, so they got outslayed, but they really got outslayed. They weren't getting kills today like they normally do. Like I feel like they have people on the team who know how to run the map and slay and get kills and know how to actually, you know, get kills on a map. But for me today, they really struggled every match. I mean,
look at these kills. Standy 2-6, Preston 1-7.
This is, you're not used to seeing this from these guys, especially Standy, you know? So it's like, it was interesting to see these guys really struggle. And maybe they needed it, you know? Maybe they needed a wake-up call like this in the first round. And this tournament's not over for them. It's easy to make a run. It's not a lot of matches. It really isn't.
I agree. So Minnesota didn't play well, but like I just want to like reiterate how dominant I think Dallas looked here. Like I feel like Dallas.
We've been waiting for this Dallas again.
Yeah,
man. I just feel like they have the tools.
I don't want to undermine what Dallas is. Like Dallas is capable of putting a lot of teams into the dirt like this when they're on form. So listen, it's champs time. Dallas obviously they won last year. They got 3 of those players returning to try and do it again, and I mean, hell, they're off to a good start, and I think the Dallas Ultra match will be crazy. We'll get more into that, but to touch on Minnesota, I mean, like, listen, I feel like now it's like they have nothing to lose, and I feel like these guys will play their best Call of Duty from this point forward, right? Like,
well, Zen, we got Brian Saint in the chat, coach of the Minnesota Rokkr. Same shit, got to keep it moving. I like that, Brian.
I like that a lot.
That's like the Ted Lasso thing. You got to have a memory of a goldfish.
100%.
Move on.
And not because Brian's in the chat, because I actually said this on my stream when we were watching did you see the content piece that Minnesota Rokkr dropped? Which was fantastic, by the way. If you guys haven't checked out the content that Minnesota Rocker's been dropping, they just dropped something after the major that they just won, kind of behind the scenes stuff. And I was really impressed with Brian Saint. I was, just the passion and the energy that he brings as a coach, and I just think he says all the right things, and he knows his team. I think he knows his team.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That's
I'm
all
the
good,
worst.
brother.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
I
just wanted to no. Go ahead. Can you finish?
It's okay, Zin. It's not a big deal. I know that I know fans and people are gonna comment like Zinny's always cutting Tommy off, but I promise you, brother, I'm vibing. Whatever you need to say, go ahead. No, I was just gonna say. Go ahead.
Because I grew up. I mean, we're all from Jersey. He's from Howell, New Jersey. Like we grew up together, going to locals together, and he's always been a sick fucking maniac. Like just a super confident, always yelling at the opposition. Like that's kind of what he was known for. He used to bring an easy button to the local lands.
Wait, really?
And when they would when he'd win a map, he'd get up and he'd press the easy button.
That's actually funny. Hold on.
So Brian's a great guy, and I think for E United, Tom, we were watching did you watch the COD Champs dinner episode they did with Austin?
I watched it a little bit. I didn't really tune into it that much because I tuned into you watching it. I think.
Yeah.
Were you at the airport? Was I at the airport when you were watching it?
You might have been. Okay.
And the first thing you said is, "I'm not watching this shit. It's boring." That's what you said.
No, that's not what I went back and I watched. Anyways, okay. I think Alex pretty much said that E United brought in Brian Saint because of how bad their vibes were. So like, Brian is super good when it comes to like managing relationships and people and like team vibes, as well as he's been around playing competitive Call of Duty for so long. So he's probably one of the most respected coaches you can get. So I'll stop guessing at my friend, but I have nothing but respect.
Nah, bro, he deserves the respect and the kind words
about my guy Brian. I was super, super, super happy to see him get his
Me
championship
too.
last.
Because he's a good dude, man.
This past event. Yeah.
He's a good dude.
Brian Saint said in our chat, "Love you, Tubbs." Then
Yeah,
he's a prick.
he's a good dude, man. He's a good dude, and I'm happy to see him succeeding and doing what he's doing. He deserves everything. So shout out to you, Brian Saint. Let's get a fucking weight in the fucking chat. How you doing? But let's get back into the match. If I remember correctly, Inder pops off and gets more streaks, does he not?
I mean, they just had.
It was just a
block on
bloodbath.
defense,
I know.
bro.
It was a bloodbath. Crimsix played well today, too.
This is what we listen for Dallas. They've gotten in trouble in a lot of series where the ARs haven't stepped it up, and it's relied a lot on Shotzi and now Reese Vivid to make plays. I feel like their success this year, Major 4, for example, is when those ARs like Illy and Krim are making it so easy for the subs to apply pressure. I feel like they're starting to get back to that way now, and they're going to set up a very interesting match. Tomorrow against Toronto, correct?
Yeah, and we'll talk about that at the end of the show when we get into our predictions going into tomorrow. But these matches are only getting better and better, guys. And I know you guys like us talking about the matches, but when it's a blowout like this, you already know what's kind of going on.
I'm not gonna lie, this was one of the most boring. This was probably the most
This
boring
series is
match
boring.
of the day. But listen, but it was still entertaining to the point where like I'd rather watch this match than a lot of the matches we saw this season. But of today,
Oh yeah, for sure. It was two good teams, two great teams.
Yeah.
Minnesota just got shut down, and for me, it's like the matches are only going to get better, and I just wanted to see the next one. I was going nuts. I was just so eager, so anxious, man, for this match to get on the road. I get an excitement anxious. I don't know if you guys get this.
I get it too.
But I get excited and I get anxious.
Tom, it's way harder to watch than it is to play. Trust.
I get the chills. Oh yeah, no. I was saying that to my girlfriend. I said, I'm watching right now and I'm shaking. Like I don't do this on stage. I only do this when I'm watching, because it's just weird to me. It's hard for me to watch, man. I get nervous. I want to see the team do well. And there's a lot of pressure on these guys, man. There's a lot of pressure. But when you're a player and you're in that zone and you're on stage, you don't even think about that stuff. All you think about is, making the right play and doing the right stuff. So your mind is in all different places. The squad wanted me to walk out with them today. They got mad at me, but for me, chat, and the things I told them is like, I want them they're the superstars. They deserve all the love, and I want them to get all the limelight. So I just didn't want to I didn't want to do that.
We gotta talk about the ace and claps, though. Okay.
I like the ace and claps. I like that a lot.
Clay was
play. But tomorrow, Asim roasted me and said, "No, you're doing it tomorrow. Like, we want you on." And I said, "Okay, I'll come on tomorrow." So tomorrow I'll come out with the squad and we'll have some fun. But today, I don't know, Chad. I'm just weird. I know a lot of people are spamming Luma. I just want the guys to get as much recognition as they deserve. I don't want to go out there and take any limelight away from anybody or do any of that stuff. I just want the guys to go out, put them under the lights and show them off, because they deserve it and they have worked their asses off all fucking year, bro. They've been through so much shit, and I just want to see them succeed. You know what I'm saying? And I had a great idea for the walkout, and Zinni knows it. And I didn't even want to do it because I felt bad. But they were very nice about it. And like, no, we fucking want you to do it. Like, they were bugging me about it. You heard Asim before, who I'm sure you'll see now. They're at the dinner right now.
They may be on the show. They may be on the pinch. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. We're going to keep the stream going probably after the show. So I'm sure people will walk in through to the hotel room and stuff when the boys are back to dinner. I know Minnesota's at the dinner. New York's at the dinner. The FaZe guys are probably getting ready for a match. So there's people here that
there's nothing like the event night dinners, man. You got the whole
it's
squad.
Nice, bro.
They got the company card.
Yeah.
Get me back on a stage, man. I'm actually glad I didn't come to the event. I'm not gonna lie, because even
you're tripping, bro.
No,
man.
I wish you were here, man.
I would lose it seeing that stage.
You think so?
I know so. Just watching other people play at champs would fucking bug the shit out of me.
Make full. It's all good, brother. Let's talk about the series. This veto. So I tweeted some fugazi. I ended up being wrong. This is a weird series and how this played out. So Tom, I had heard prior to this that when Clay came back in the team, bro, they were unbelievable in hardpoint for like 2 weeks straight. And then I kind of thought about it in the run up to the series, and I'm like, OpTic's hardpoint's trending in a weird direction, and I wonder if they're just going to continue to bet Garrison in this series, and it's going to play into New York's hands, going to be able to pick another hardpoint. So New York ends up picking APOC and then get checkmate as well, which they're very good at. Express S&D, which they're very good at. Checkmate control, we know OpTic's like the best checkmate controller team in the game to get rid of S&D. So I looked at the set and I was telling you, I thought this was a New York 3-1.
Yeah,
it did not go in that direction. This was actually one of the more entertaining series I've watched and one of the weirdest map 5s I think I've seen all year.
Yeah,
it was the worst map 5 I've seen in a long time.
You think so?
I think both teams played that S&D fucking terribly. Like, We'll talk about it when we get there.
Yeah,
but
we'll get there.
I was losing my mind watching that.
I was telling the chat, because I want to get into this first map a little bit. We had Hydra on your screen. First of all, Hydra played phenomenal today.
Phenomenal.
Right,
it was a work of art. It's exactly what I know what this kid can do. And knowing how good New York has been playing in scrims. Chat, I've been telling you New York is playing good in scrims. Their map count in the last few weeks has been like 70-5 or some shit. Like they have been, yes, they have been.
They've been all business, bro. All business.
Have they been playing to be fair,
top
have they been
teams,
playing like
top
the
teams.
Yeah,
yep.
Really?
I'm not gonna say who they were playing, but top teams and putting them to bed.
The way they're doing it is like all the teams and winners are playing teams and losers, and the teams on the top side of the bracket are not playing the teams on the bottom side of the bracket.
Yeah.
So you've got four teams you can scrim against. Yeah.
And even today, and listen, it's just practice, chat. It's just practice.
Yeah.
You know, they were frying with DiamondCon in practice. They were frying every day. They were winning map after map after map. They're winning every scrim they had, and by long shots too. And then they went to the event, didn't look so hot. So that's why I said coming into it, I said, well, we'll see what kind of New York we get. Because if they're playing at the top of their game, I promise you guys, this team is one of the best. They're top 3 team. If they're at the best of their game, and you can say that about a lot of teams. But I think if every team hit their ceiling in this league, New York would be top 3. I think when this team hits their ceiling, they're very, very dangerous. I really do. I really believe that, and not because they're my team. And obviously the win, you know, I'm gassing it today because they won, and it was only one series. But I really, really believe that, and I don't know if you guys agree.
I think my reason that I like this New York team a lot, when their teamwork is on, they're one of the best teams in the game at staying alive individually in situations, and like. Especially like in this map, for example, Hydra top playing like so good at playing that side of the map, not getting picked. His teammates go down cool. He's gonna come and stay top playing, maybe get a pick or two, help his team with the cross. Like those plays go a long way in helping you regain map control, and they're so good at it.
And one thing I liked about New York today is everybody had their moments. You saw Hydra popping off, Mac popping off, Asa making big plays, popping pieces. Who played incredible by the way, and in Clay, Clay, there was a P2 hard point that Clay broke on his own. When OpTic started getting back into it a little bit, Clay broke the P2 hardpoint on the second rotation. It was a great, or was it the first rotation? I just remember Clay breaking the P2 hardpoint by himself, and I was like, dude, like, phenomenal plays, a lot of individual plays. Who's here?
No, I'm gonna get to it. Let me.
No, you're good. I thought you said RG was here.
I'm turning my head and talking. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. But I do want to talk about OpTic a little bit. Obviously. New York was able to take the S&D, and we'll talk about it, but I think OpTic's S&Ds have really been struggling, and we're going to talk about that.
I thought in this hard point, especially, like, look at the score at this point. Yeah, it's a blowout, but it's checkmate, right? You're OpTic in this situation. If you hold the P2, you're probably down 40 or 50 points. Make P3 mixy, get your good P4 going, and suddenly you can get that P5, P1, and you win the game.
Yeah, it's like, all changed.
We've seen this so often on checkmate, and what happens in this situation is, look, they got everything pushed out. They're going to teammates spawning in the back here. But somehow they let Clay stay alive. Number 5, his whole team comes Yellow Street, and they push out for the front. They do get a pinch around from that bottom tail, but you really can't blow P2s if you rotate to them in this game. It's a death sentence, especially if you're down 110 points.
And I'll tell you what about OpTic. They're better than this. They were way better than this. They came out flat. They came out a little flat. They weren't winning fights that I usually see them win. I know I was gassing up New York a lot, but OpTic's way better than this. And I think this could have been a little bit closer. But then when OpTic started warming up a little bit, you saw what happened in the next 2 respawns after the first couple maps. But this first map was a blowout. A lot of blowouts today, guys. We went through right now it's 210 for those listening on audio. It's 210 to 90 right now, or 209 to 94 or some shit. So obviously New York was just ahead of rotation. They were making individual plays to break hills, and like Ben said, when you change so many hills together, I mean, there's really not much you can do. They have such a big lead to work with that all they need to keep doing now is just making it mixy and making sure they're just getting into the mix to clear out the rest of this game. So they came out hot. They built themselves a good lead. They were ahead of rotation. Clay was keeping the boys together. Asim came out with positive energy. The boys were hyped. They were hyped up. And it's good to come out with that energy. And I think New York just, started off a lot hotter than Chicago.
I want to talk, Tom. We'll talk about it, guys. You guys talk about Scump. We'll talk about map 3 because I think we got to tip them. But
map 3, we have to tip Scump.
But I want to talk about this S&D. We have talked about this a couple of times with OpTic. That I have liked some of their base strats, but it's now been about 2 months since they started rolling this out. And I'm gonna play this first round. I know they win this first round, but to me, this first round is why New York won this map because they saw what OpTic did and realized that they haven't changed anything in the way they have played. Well, they're able to call with their game plan. So New York's going to throw basically like a mid fake here and then go to A. And we have talked about a lot like on the show is that the way OpTic plays this map is they stack A, and they don't see anything, and they rotate B quickly. And depending on that timing, you can actually get the bomb down instantly at A. And I think New York was able to use that to their advantage in this map. They threw a bunch of fakes at A. They threw a bunch of different looks where they delayed A, and they threw some looks where they went in the delayed B. And I felt like New York's offenses were just really creative, based on how OpTic really hasn't switched up their defense on this map.
A lot of ankle breaking. You know, they're constantly finding ways to keep their opponent on their toes. But Envoy popped off this first round.
Yeah.
Envoy was able to find 3. I think New York did a good job finding that blood.
4. Hold on, let's
he got the ace.
Yeah,
because then Asim got the ace next round.
Yeah, back-to-back aces.
Back-to-back aces, which you never see. It doesn't really happen too often. But Envoy made a great heads-up play. Envoy's an incredible player. He's been making plays all day today too. I'm not sure what happened with New York here. They just kind of got caught on the bomb, and I don't know why there's 2 guys just standing on the bomb. I think they kind of messed up right there. They got the blood, and they should have worked kills a little bit before forcing a plant.
I thought, Tom, like, really what they could have done. So, again, we've seen OpTic play this map a lot. Number 7 here, and Mac may not realize it, like, when OpTic does this play, like, you can get into their side train, like, without getting seen at all because of the timing that you can hit, because OpTic basically isn't watching that low side of the train. So, instead he plays it slow, and then they're not really able to get control of the other side, which you kind of need because otherwise you get pinned in when you plant this bomb.
Yep, no, 100%. I think this was very back and forth to start things off. But Zinni, I kind of want to get your opinions on kind of where you think OpTic's falling apart in S&D right now, because they lost both S&Ds here, and they also lost the S&D to Florida later on today, which we're going to talk about, because obviously New York sent OpTic into the losers bracket. But I'm curious to get your opinions on kind of what's happening here, Zin.
I mean, I feel like OpTic just sort of play a little one-dimensional in search. Like, if you notice, like, what New York was doing, it's like they just made them guess. And it's like, if OpTic can do that to teams more, rotate bombs more, just keep people on their feet, I think they'll be a lot more successful. Overall, I mean, they need to start taking some searches. I mean, they lost 2 S&Ds this series. OpTic will always win respawns. I mean, whether it's 1 or 2, I mean, they'll win respawns. When they're winning search, they're super dangerous, but, like, they have to win, and then I don't think Brandon necessarily had a good series when it came to S&D, and he's sort of like their S&D.
He's their X factor,
you know,
like
exactly.
across the board in all the game modes.
Yeah,
he's definitely that S&D X factor that's gonna usually make the game for you, but sometimes when he's not playing too hot, it can break. So I just think OpTic need to tune it up in the search and to start taking more risks. I feel like it's just so passive sometimes.
Would you agree with that, Ben? You think they're a little passive
agree.
at times?
And one thing we've noticed about this era of COD, as Mac Melts subs in the chat, shout out Mac Melts.
Shout out Mac, man. Shout out Wow. Let's get a whack in the chat.
Is everybody's watching VODs, and not only that, everybody's game planning. They're not just watching VODs seeing what their teams do. They're going to sit there and say, okay, look at the VODs. Here are maybe some set pieces we're going to run. Here's our overall strategy and how we're going to call on the map. And I feel like OpTic need to get a little bit better at being not just a plan A team, but a plan B team and a plan C team, being unpredictable, and then set themselves up because they've got a lot of skill on the team. But sometimes the tactics are getting kind of red, and they don't really have a backup plan.
Oh, we got a knock at the door.
Someone's at the door. We got it.
Who could that be? Ladies and gentlemen, we have some guests that will be joining us, and I have no idea who it is. Oh, look who it is. We were just talking about you. Sit away.
Oh, we're running
Welcome to the flank, ladies and gentlemen. We got Asim. My fucking guy, how you fucking doing, my guy? Let's get away with a fucking chat.
I just realized he's not gonna be able to hear Zen.
That's okay.
Yeah,
It's okay. It's okay.
Listen,
Hey, Asim.
I got team bot session in like 5 minutes, but I came in here to make sure that I didn't miss out on the show because
that is true. That is like a
tradition.
It is a tradition. It is a tradition.
Wait, so we got to talk about a round here where you were a little faded.
I'm faded?
Where Asim was faded?
There was a round where you were a little faded.
What the fuck did you do?
Dude, we won 6-1. What could you be talking about?
I don't know. That's why I want to take a look.
At me, I'm fucking frying.
You are frying, and you fried the last. You got double digits last match.
I didn't even know I fried the last map either. You were like, you were gassing me. We were like,
Hell yeah,
11 kills, bro.
Be honest and be completely honest with me right now. Did you hear me screaming at the top of my lungs?
Oh, I did every time.
The whole series, right?
Bro.
The whole
Tommy
series.
was the biggest fan out there for New York.
Oh yeah, because I had to make up for the OpTic. You know, the OpTic was so loud, so I had to make up for it.
Dude.
You know, but the OpTic fans, hey, OpTic fans, hella cool, bro. Talking to all the OpTic fans, we were having a fucking blast. Shout out to the fucking green wall. Shout out to everybody who was there. We were having a blast in the fucking crowd, bro. Like, they were fucking... I heard a fuck you Mutex. Somebody screams, fuck you Mutex. I look around and say, yeah. That shit was comedy,
Listen,
bro.
Asim, I want to talk about this round, bro. Talk me through it.
Oh no, dude! I went a little rogue here, Tom. I thought I could get Scump because I knew he was gonna
Nah,
come
see,
in
you
the sky.
did do dumb shit
I
here.
did dumb shit
I
here.
did, you know how I know you did dumb
You're so
shit?
close to streaks, man.
You know how I know you did dumb shit?
I
Cause
know.
I right here, my girlfriend was sitting next to me. I had my hand on her knee. I started squeezing her knee. I said, "Asim, don't fucking do it. Don't peek it. Don't peek it." And you peeked. I said, "Fuck it."
Oh no.
And you died. I thought because we had bomb down, just play corner.
No. I knew we were gonna win the round, but I just got
You
greedy.
won those streaks, bro.
I got greedy for the
It's one of the, you're just too confident. You were just winning your
It's
one.
a little too much, man.
I know, just a little too.
But the crowd, and where's the round where Paco popped the 3? Because we gotta
that
watch
was round 2 or round. Wait, what was that? It was like round 3 or something. It was early on.
But Ben, run it back, bro.
Run it back.
We gotta peep that out.
That was the dagger for sure.
Bro, every time Paco fried or did something crazy,
he's
like
not-
in
he's not
game,
like-
in intermissions or after map, he would look between the monitors and look at me and just
Funny.
go like this. He'd give me a thumbs up and smile, and I'd be like, dude, this guy's fucking
Was it
hilarious.
this round,
No,
Asim?
we were in defense. It's the next round. I think it's the next round.
This,
round. It's
hey, chat, if those of you who missed it, you guys gotta check out
No,
this
it's not this one.
this
Fuck.
clip. You gotta check out this clip from Paco. Hey, chat, what round was the Paco pop off? What round was it? Asim popped off. He did pop off. He went absolutely rogue. He
I
went
mean,
nuts.
listen, bro. People, they talk about my stats, but listen, bro. I had like 12 bombs down, and I had the best KD out of anyone in SMB.
I mean, when are
I'm
people?
not
SMB
SMB
star,
star,
baby.
We say this all the fucking time, bro. The amount of people need to start looking about what other things that people do.
Yeah.
Bro, even something as simple as bomb down.
Yeah.
I mean, getting a bomb down is against a pro team is not the easiest thing to do. And if you do get it down, it's not easy to stay alive after getting it down.
I was full flash here.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have ran engineer. I keep making that mistake, Tom, where I run
It's
engineer
a
off the
crazy
break.
2v4.
This was unbelievable,
dude.
bro.
Forget
The way
about
he's
it.
finessing, bro. He throws a nade,
Awesome.
turns around, guns a guy in the window, plays his life, wins another one.
Scump at the worst time in it. Watch fucking.
Let me see the reaction after that round, too. Let me see that.
Yeah, they lost for a while.
Watch this
I
time.
remember
No,
looking across the
I want to
stage.
see New York, though. I want to see what Paco
I know, but I gotta like first off, you get unlucky racing, but I feel like Scump got also incredibly unlucky in this situation. This is unbelievable from Hydra. Don't get me rocking guns dash at the window, but look,
He knew, though.
yeah,
he knew.
Paco knew
Yeah.
Scump was about to jump that corner and
Yeah.
he was
Yeah.
weak. So Paco's like, let me get the fuck out of here. He played his life hella good.
Yeah.
Hella
very
It was
good
a
play from Hydra.
It was
Yeah.
great plays. And then I want to see it after they win this round. I want to see the reaction. But from the New York subliners, you see them all hyped up. Look at Paco smiling and shit.
Let me
Bro,
tell
I
you
fucking
something.
love that.
Look at this,
You
Tommy!
see it? You see it?
Tommy!
And right there, when I did that, the reason why I put my thumb is because Paco looked and it went like this.
Oh
Like,
my
he looked at me,
God.
and I was like, let's fucking go. I felt like I was with you guys. Like, because, bro, honestly, like, I like the environment in the venue. Like, if you're sitting front row, like, I can hear you guys comment. I can hear what you guys are saying. Like, and you
Yeah.
guys can hear me, too.
Yeah, that's dope.
So, it was dope. It was dope to see you guys fucking pop
let's
off.
close it on this one.
I
Right?
got a bone to pick with Miles, though.
What did
Fine,
Miles
be
do,
safe.
bro?
Chad, what did Miles say today?
Called you the guy from the flank.
The
did he
guy
not?
from the flank. I'm the guy from the flank, but I'm more than that, Zen. I'm more than that.
Okay,
You know,
well, listen,
fucking
guys.
woman,
Hey,
man.
Miles
got-
watches the show today.
I gotta go
Shout out
now.
Miles.
I'm sorry for not staying on
It's
longer,
okay.
but it's my tradition. I have to stay on.
Well,
you
it's
know?
fucking lit that you just pulled up, though.
Yeah.
That's
No, I
lit.
know. It was kind of funny. I could tell you were like, oh,
Yeah,
somebody's
like,
at the
somebody's.
door.
Hey, I figure we're gonna get some knocks throughout the show. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Shakiri,
yep.
thank you for the fucking 10. You're an animal, but I appreciate you coming on, bro. If you want to
Uh-huh.
fucking come back, let me know. But go do what you gotta do.
Alright,
I don't want to keep you.
All right, have a great show.
You peeped the blue ice pop Astro microphones. You see this?
Oh, no way.
It's the same. We're using blue right now for the
That's
ma-
dope.
Yeah,
That's
bro.
dope.
Yeah, bro. This shit is dope. We
Well-
showed the commercial. Remember the commercial I showed you?
Yeah. You
Yeah,
showed
they
him
loved
that?
it. They
Oh,
loved
that's
it, bro.
comedy.
They loved it. But I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, bro. No problem.
And
I feel like-
tell the squad I said what's good.
Oh,
Go ahead,
sorry.
Zen. Go ahead. Zen's talking. Go ahead, Zen.
I feel like
Please
the Clay mini break could have been the best thing to happen to New York. It's kind of like a
Facts.
mini roster change that like resets the vibes, especially going into a tournament like this where it's like it's a mini roster change vibe-wise, like kind of, but they obviously still have like familiarity, like playing with each other and like setups and just like overall team chemistry, like it's still there. But I don't know, like Clay takes a break, he gets his head on straight, the team gets a taste of someone else, and then they get their leader back, and now it's just like what I'm seeing on stage is energy that we weren't seeing when they were struggling just a little bit ago. You know what I'm saying?
I think Zen, talking to the guys, I agree with you. I think we talked about accountability before, and I think prior to the break, I think sometimes the accountability was a little bit too one way on the team. And I think they've realized now as a squad that you got to do it together, and the individuals need to not sometimes be a little bit too aggressive. It's got to be more of a positive spin. We've talked about on the show before, right? You got to change the attitude, change the decision making, not the person.
Yep.
And I feel like that business sort of approach has kind of helped them a lot. And look, they're going to kind of ride that honeymoon a little bit through this, but I think it's positioned them well to have a really good run at this tournament. I really kind of think that the matchup against FaZe now, and we'll get to kind of Game 5 and how it breaks down here, is going to be very interesting between this team.
Yep.
I have one word real quick I want to say.
Yeah, go ahead.
One word. Scump.
I know.
I
know.
The guy was legitimately
he was
going fucking rogue this entire series, especially on this
the
map.
entire day.
The next map, I mean, the Game 5, he started off 7-0, so I felt for him this series because you could just see it in his face, like, after they lost, that, like, he put everything into this series, and, like, bro, that's going to happen, right? Like, obviously, when a team loses, there are some people who don't play necessarily as good as they might usually.
Mm-hmm.
But Seth was frying, but now it's a loser's run. But, I mean, we got to simply, I mean, the kid's been doing it for how many fucking years now, and for some reason the guy's still getting hate. But I think this is a giant fuck you to anybody who sent that guy a tweet this year saying to retire or that he doesn't have it anymore. I think he pretty much told you to go fuck yourself with this one.
I mean, we've been saying it all along, even when he got hate, even when he didn't play that well at times. You know, people just like to get on you when you're at your low, but I mean, we know what Scump's capable of doing. This guy can play for years and years to come. As long as he feels good and healthy and feels like he can still do it, then age is just a fucking number, you know? And he's been doing his thing all year. He's been one of the best S&D players in the game all year. He showed up for his team today in the respawns and the S&D, both series today. He showed up. And I just think Scump is an incredible player. And I think, I also think he's just the most loved, so he's going to be the most hated. You know, I feel like that's also a thing. That's kind of how it goes. It just comes with being the king of COD. But I'll tell you what, he deserves to be the king of COD. And he's played absolutely phenomenal today. And Asim even told me, you know, what happened in the map 3. I said, Scump. You know, and that's kind of like how it is, you know. And sometimes that kid can just fucking pop off at any given moment. So he does deserve the love and respect. And I after the series, I was backstage and I saw Hector and Seth walk by. And I just like you did, I saw it in Seth's face. And I didn't want to bother him. I said GG's to Hector. And I felt bad for the kid. I don't like seeing people, especially people I know and I'm friends with, kind of get
through
down.
that shit, yeah.
Because it's bringing back memories for me, you know, from when I went through losses like that. So I was
and
like,
to
damn.
be fair, I mean, bro, they haven't won all year, and they know that. Like, they want to win this one more than anything. So I think it's just like having the same thing sort of happen again, right? Like get knocked to losers bracket. It's like, oh, here we go again. Listen, they can climb out of it, right? Like they can make that run, and I hope for the tournament's sake they do, because I mean, it's no fucking stranger that when OpTic's in the tournament, everything is better. I mean, the fans are there, the chat's going nuts. I mean, I would like to see OpTic in it for as long as possible, but I think for them it's just they're at the point where it's like, here we go again, right? Like it definitely can be frustrating.
But they had a chance in this series. I mean, look, they're down 0-2. New York has a chance to win this offense. Look how close. For those watching or listening on audio, I mean, they basically get 3.5 ticks on B, and just really good work from the OpTic guys getting out of a spawn trap. Hydra was pushed out, and they're able to close it out, get them off the point with like 10 seconds left, and take it down. It could have been a 2-1 New York instead. OpTic hold serve on defense. They end up, because of virtue, I think, of the ticks they got in the first round, they end up getting defense for round 5. And New York kind of struggle at times with offense on this map. I think, like a lot of teams, they get put in that trap.
Nobody went on offense. I mean, I was counting the ticks every offense. I was going through them, counting them, because you could tell it was very defensive heavy. Both teams kept pushing the pedal down on their defenses and getting teams in that spawn trap and just kind of pinning them in a corner of the map. Teams are getting very good at locking people in there. So for me, winning offenses means getting ticks. To me, you don't need to win the round, but you need to get those ticks. And I was counting them the whole time. And when we were going into an overtime, I said fuck, because we didn't get the one. We needed one more tick to tie it and 2 more ticks to take the lead. Even if we tied the ticks, it wouldn't have mattered, because OpTic was absolutely shitting.
Well, OpTic won situations like this. Like New York gets in a good position. They get kind of a pretty good force setup. They're watching Yellow Street, and OpTic's going to be able to break this. New York's not going to be able to. I think New York's not able to cap this, right? Or does Mac actually cap this?
No, Mac caps this. Mac caps this. They're able to get a point.
But they get put in the spawn trap here in B.
They get pushed back.
They don't get anything going from this point. They can't get top lane
and
control.
And it got close for
control.
a second. There was a second where New York did get 4 down. Yeah, they got like 3 or 4 down, and they weren't able to hold on. And OpTic just did a good job, just staying aggressive, kind of like what Scump's doing now, just being a nuisance, pushing into the base, just delaying time, like delaying pushes. They use the time limit to their advantage, the lives to their advantage, and slowly, New York just dwindled down. And it was good plays out of OpTic, to be honest. They did a good job locking down the map. They covered up all the lanes and made sure, even though they did lose that point, that they stayed level-headed and focused on the job that needed to be done, and they took care of business. So OpTic, they played well this map. The first 4 rounds are straight defensive wins by both teams. Overtime, OpTic got more takes, was outslaying. They deserved a defensive round going into overtime, and they did what they had to do to shut it down. But I agree with Ben. There was definitely instances for both teams on offense where I thought they might have been able to capitalize and win the offense. But it just wasn't enough, and I think these teams are just too strong at holding on their Ds, and we're going to see that. It's COD champs. We've been playing control all year. We know defensive, being on the defense is the better side, and they held on strong and played some good, consistent COD. But then this was a big question mark for me. We go into an apocalypse hardpoint. Not a question mark, but a shock. A shock, because New York is very good at this map, and I think
OpTic's one of the worst teams statistically in APOC.
And I think the start is what killed New York. Just like the start killed OpTic in the first map, I think the start here killed New York in this map.
I think the start wasn't ideal for New York. I actually think it went wrong on the P4. I think, who are we talking about this with? It might have been with RJ. They're like, P2's kind of a little overgassed. The money hill in this map is P4. Because if you hold P4, then you have an easy rotation to P5, and then you kind of like, you can control, right? Because you can flip them. They didn't get the P5 spawn until last like 15, then you're set up for P1, P2. Where New York rotated to P4 and then they got broken. But go ahead, Zen.
I wouldn't say P2 is overgassed, because like P1 to P2 is definitely like a 120 money hill, right? Like you start off on good side, and it's like, let's say you start off on good side and you secure that P1, P2, and then you manage to get a P4 rotation. That's like the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
There's kind of like 2 money rotations, because like you just said, P4, P5 are pretty much one hill, one spawn point. So I wouldn't say it's overgassed, but I would say both are like equally as important, and I think you just have a better chance to, I guess a higher probability starting on the good side to get that first money hill, and then it's like a 50-50 for the second money rotation, and if you win that, it's like, well, the fucking map's over.
Well, OpTic almost tried to throw this. I mean, look where I paused it, Tom. Look at the setup they have. They have no one hard blocking. They have no one on cliff. Dashy's actually kind of pushed up on the TV side. He actually loses his gunfight and they get through like it's over. Instead, it kind of ends up sort of working out. The trades do go in, but his team is going to spawn new based on kind of number 3 pushing down middle, and they're going to kind of get away with it. They do a good job with this whole. Paco does end up getting 1 here. I think he guns Formal, right?
Yeah, he kills Formal, and then he ends up dying here to the second guy. But I think it was number 7. It was Mac who was coming off spawn. I think his second or 2 earlier with the Paco 2-piece and him pushing up. OpTic would have been the ones to flip out. But number 7 was trying to get away from that side of the map, and he just didn't get out of there in time. And it kind of just gave OpTic the good spawns once again. So that would have been a good break for New York. Big 2-piece out of Paco to try and flip those spawns, and we know how bad. I mean, this was New York's pick. So we know OpTic, they picked the side, they picked the good side, and they took full advantage of it. And that's kind of the risk of picking Apocalypse, honestly, because you know you're going to start on that bad side. I know a lot of pro teams think it's not as hard as it is, as people say it is, to flip. But the problem is if a good team does hold and they know what they're doing, you're going to go down 100 points. You're going to go down.
I want to talk about 2 plays real quick on this map because I want to skip to the map 5. So this was one play where I feel like New York started toss. So they pushed out pretty far in this P4. They have Hydra sitting in P2. They've got Turtle and the guy outside a hut. And what's going to happen? I actually skipped back. Give me a second.
This is when they got broke instantly.
Yeah.
They get like that. OpTic got all the kills, and then they just pushed up.
It's good to see it.
It's okay. Don't panic, Ben. Don't panic.
Bro.
Oh my God, let's get Lens in the chat. He's fucking choking. Unbelievable, guys. Guys, Ben also did bring his putter today to sink a putt for you guys, so you already know Ben's gonna fucking sink a putt here live in the hotel room.
So I got to the point here. So what's gonna happen is the guy that's pushed down, the guy in the hill are gonna die at the same time, and now you're in that shitty situation on this map where it's like, well, shit, like, we need to hit the hill. We also don't want to lose our spawns for P5. They kind of try to play both, and this hill ends up getting kind of wiped for a minute, gets mixy. I think they end up getting flipped out, right?
Yeah, they get flipped out. No, New York hold the spawns, but then they OpTic break again.
On the P5 instant, yeah.
I'm pretty sure. So New York lose. Mac lost a big 1-on-1 behind the God Rock. I mean, personally, usually the people behind that rock are winning their ones. He ended up losing the fight. It happens. Dashy would have probably beamed him. It didn't show it, but Dashy probably had a big win. New York get back into it. They make it scrappy. They get these spawns back, and I'm thinking, okay, hold this P5. See right here? We get the spawns with 24 seconds left to go, and then we fuck this up. So now right here, I'm like, okay, we had a bad start with the P1, P2. OpTic did a good job chaining, but we made P3 mixy. Could have been a lot cleaner, but we made it mixy. Got somewhat of time, and then we blow it right here. And I kind of want to watch it because I was in the front row breaking my neck trying to see. And I kind of want to see how it unfolded because this was a big mishap from New York or just good plays out of OpTic. I want to see how they broke it. Asen's playing an off angle. Oh, so that right there.
I mean, he just gets pre-fired.
We got pieced in the back.
Yeah, and then it's shocked at this point because like they're just collapsing from all angles.
So Hydra and Asem, I think, just need to try and stay alive there. I mean, there's no reason why Envoy should be getting a 2-piece while still in that building. They need to make Envoy make a play and run out. Instead, New York challenges. They overchow. And they end up falling down. Great play out of Envoy. He must have had some crazy shots onto Hydra to kill him there.
I want to talk about this P2 play because the caster's gassed it. I actually think it's a fucking terrible play.
From OpTic?
I think it's a bad play from OpTic.
I disagree wholeheartedly.
Because from my POV, if you in New York play this right, you've got all of the crossfires on this angles. Instead, OpTic's just miraculously win all these gunfights. To me, I think New York is in the position.
They don't
here.
miraculously win all their gunfights.
Well,
they sent 4 guys for the spawn.
Well, why not throw some nades or stuns? You have the position. They have to slide out to you.
Ben is
right
correct
here.
Bro, I think
disagree with both of
New
y'all.
York is in a way better position here.
I disagree with both of you guys.
Listen, I mean, I don't think it's possible to disagree. This will sometimes work, but this is an 8's play. This is a trolley, let's all hit left type play. The correct play is to hit through the right side of the map, because the truth is, like, you don't have to actually break the spawn necessarily on this map. The only thing you got to do is get kills, and if you push up to a certain point, they start flipping behind you. You don't really necessarily even need to be in temple or close to temple to flip them out. So, listen, it works there. That is not the play that you'll see people make, especially when you have a lead like that. Like, I don't think the reward is worth the risk there. Like, you have a 100-point lead, you get shut down there, now you're actually trapped, whereas you had a couple chances to break that P1. So I don't agree with the play.
I think the other side of that.
It can work. It can work. Like, listen, it worked here. This is not always going to work. It's just a very big risk, and I don't think a risk.
I agree with Zim. Like, if this backfires, it's 176 to 72. You can be looking at like a 40-point game if you don't get any more time on this P1 and you get kind of 60 on P2. Go ahead,
for me, I was looking at it in a different way. For me, I was like, OpTic has a crazy lead. They have over a 100-point lead. They have a guy from New York in the hill. I'm sure that they're also thinking that there's a guy around the hill supporting him. So at most, there's going to be 2 guys watching the back. You send 4 there, you take the risk because you're already up over 100 points. If you flip those spawns instantly and catch them off guard and just do something together, and somebody probably calmed it and they did it instantly, as long as they were on the same page, which they all were, it worked because they did something together, they did something as a squad, and they realized that they can use their numbers to break through the spawn, and that's exactly what they did. And they flipped out instantly, and all you need to do is flip the spawns, and just like that, you win the game. You're done.
Well, Tom, look at Scump, man. 26 and 15 at this point in the map. Like, guys are walking 2-piece on that break. We just watched another situation where New York tried to break P2, and Scump got 2 kills. Like, I mean, if that guy's piecing like that and he's giving you 2 entries, like, it's going to work out no matter the play you make.
I see what you guys are saying, but for me, I think every play can be the right play sometimes if you do it situationally in the correct time, which right there, situationally, I thought that was a great spot to do it, and they did it decisive and as a team.
I disagree.
Well, here's what you're saying, at least I think. So, doing the wrong play together is better than doing different plays
situationally. No. I said situationally though. It depends on the situation. Right there, OpTic had those close spawns. They were all left. They were all bunched up together. They knew a guy from New York was in hill. They knew somebody was probably also supporting him. Somebody probably made the call. We have numbers here. Hit this out, and they hit it out with numbers. So situationally, was it the bet? Was it the?
I'm sure it was
I think it was a good play. Yeah, very calculated.
I'm sure it was calculated, but I still, no matter how calculated it is, it's such a big risk. All it takes is 1 nade to fuck up your entire push. Then you're all weak. You got to realize those people on P1 can wrap back and climb that wall very, very quick. And then when you have that player on the pillar, the crossfire is pretty strong. Listen, nonetheless, it worked. I'd be shocked to see them do it again, and it worked. Hey, listen, man, it can. But, like...
Yeah, we agree to disagree. We can move on. It's okay. Yeah, we agree to disagree. It is what it is.
And we go to a raid S&D, Tom.
We're going to the last map.
I don't even know. Where the fuck do we even start this one? I agree with you, Zen. This might be...
You guys were ranting about this, so I'll let you guys go out.
What round are you going to start on?
This map was fucking disgusting. So first off, incredible plays from Seth. I mean, the guy's pretty much a one-man army, getting streaks to start it. I would like to see him get the cruise missile as well, but nonetheless, I mean, going 7-0 is quite the feat to start. Mac almost had a fucking crazy 1v3. I shit my pants when he almost got that 1v3 outside Tiki.
Yeah.
I know what you guys, you guys know what I'm talking about, but these defenses from OpTic, like, why are we giving up laundry so easily? Like, we're literally giving them laundry control every round, and it's one thing if you plan on retaking from back laundry side together, but that's not what's going on. You have people retaking back laundry, you have people flanking through Zig to Art. It's like, there's no unison. And then some of the offenses also blew my fucking mind. We're planning for laundry side, because we have the artillery, so we're double laundry, double Art. It's like, sometimes teams overplay the streaks, and they're like, oh, we have streaks, let's do this play. Fuck the streaks. Play like you don't have them. I think they would have been a lot more successful here if they just played normal COD, hit out laundry, got the bomb down for laundry. Like, I think they were just overthinking, trying to do too much.
I agree with you on what you said about OpTic. Sometimes I felt like they weren't putting the pressure on that A bomb site to kind of just like get that map control and kind of just push New York back. I felt like the script of defense is to push up, get map control, and hold. And sometimes it felt like New York was getting the upper hand in offense because they were giving up sites. I noticed New York was doing that too. I noticed New York was stacking B a lot, and this is where I think VOD watching might have come in.
Crazy round. I want to talk about this round before you get to that, Tom.
Go ahead.
Because this is one of the weirdest rounds of raid I've ever watched. So I'll have to get a pick in middle, and they just kind of camp there. New York, we've seen this teams that do this a couple of times, sort of like we're after the spawn, and then it gets even crazier from here. I just feel like, to your point, and I never felt like OpTic had a fucking game plan on what they want to do on the retakes.
I have to freak out again. Why the fuck are they stacking B and Seth is playing mid alone? You can't solo play mid. If you are gonna play 2B, send 2 to mid so one can watch Zig, then one can get info A. Seth is trapped middle. He's forced to watch his own Zig in case they hit. Meanwhile, they're crossing A. They have no info at all. Like you need to play for info middle. You can't just give up laundry. Like a play. The thing is, as soon as they cross laundry, you got to think that they're about to plant the bomb laundry, and you got to start moving quick. You can't let them get set up after they get that bomb down.
That's
like
facts.
you need to start making a play.
Yep, they weren't decisive enough in search. It seemed like they were staggered a lot, and they were hesitant to make plays.
And they let Hydra in this round just camp driveway and get a kill while they're playing the bomb B. So now you got to worry about the defuse and Hydra, who's just absolutely out of the play. Just a weird round, man.
Yeah, definitely a weird round, and that's what you want when you're on offense. You want it to be weird.
Just be mixed.
You want it to be fugazi and fucking mixed.
This comes from the guy who flanked in a final back bridge on Arden's Forest S&D.
Because immediately when we lost the first offense, I knew we need to bounce back here with an offense. And this one got tight too because Scump makes a good play, picks up one middle, picks up another one here in
really good name
money.
Clay to this,
and then right here, if ASIM loses this one, they lose. Seth's on the bomb. He's ready to go. But once ASIM wins the one, he stays alive and he makes a good play. But Scump here, he gets himself a little bit of a streak early. And the streak usage was a little interesting to me when Scump dropped the streaks. And we'll get to that round, of course, but it was a good bounce back from New York to win the next offense, Ben.
Yeah, I'm going to skip to their offense here. Just a lot of stuff going down water steps. Obviously took the best of it, and then we'll watch this next offense here from New York. They set up for the full B action. ASIM, I think, is going to get a pick.
Which, by the way, ASIM was incredible this map 5.
Well, he's Mr. Map 5. We know that.
What's with him in map 5? He's always going off in map 5.
He's just clutch, man. I don't know.
He's clutch, bro. He's always going off in these map 5s.
Was this a ridiculous setup? Dude, okay, so I asked ASIM about this. This was not a planned setup, Zen. Like, when I saw this, I was like, bro, there's no way that they plan to do this. I think Paco basically got stuck with the nade. Like, in terms of him being able to slide out, he was unsure. So they had to kind of watch this, like, crossfire setup on a guy sliding down water steps. But go ahead, Zen.
Okay. OpTic stacked A at the start of this round, which is acceptable. So, in my opinion, the only bomb site that is acceptable to stack on this map is A. Because, to be honest, the risk of not stacking A and them getting the bomb down, like, for the most part, you'll probably lose the round. You should never, ever, 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 in my opinion, stack B. Because odds are they're probably going A. If they are going B, great, but I think you're better off stacking mid if you think they're going to go B, because then you can actually work from basketball and middle. Whereas if you stack B and you go A, you have to trek across the entire map to start trying to retake. You can't really go up water steps because you have people on the ring headies fucking taking your wig off if you come up. So I just can't.
But it's a
disagree more
mind
with
game,
stacking
Zin.
B.
It's a mind game too, though.
But why stack B? Because you can get info on B from everywhere. You can get info on B from basketball. You can get info on B from middle map if you take mid
You
map
can't get
control.
info at A, just sitting by the stairs, giving it a shimmy.
They weren't doing that.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. It's not about stacking certain sites.
No,
It's
no,
about
no.
like if you're gonna stack
Listen,
B,
yes, they
you should
always
you
have
should
one
either
person
like
at A.
for instance, if you're stacking because New York was doing it too, and I'm guessing that's coming down to VOD watching because you don't just want to give up the B side either because this is a hard site to break too. It's easier than the A
Hold
side.
on,
Finish
no,
this
hold
thought,
on,
finish
hold
this
on,
thought, 'cause I wanna
hold
talk
on,
about this
hold
fight.
on, hold on.
Yeah.
New York also fucked up by stacking B. They're lucky OpTic fucked up on the offense.
Yeah,
I
agree with Zin here.
They had full site
Well, that's
control
why I'm
twice,
saying
and
that's
they
why I'm
are
saying the
lucky that
VOD
OpTic played it
watching.
horribly.
So
But I think the VOD watching is coming into play because
But-
if teams are hard stacking like that, I think that they're feeling a presence over by that bomb site. There must be some mind games going on here.
My thought process and the way they set up that set play, they're trying to set up Clay for a kill and L, and he didn't get it in any of those rounds. And then Clay makes like a pretty boneheaded play in this round, right? You know, if you're the solo B player, that like peeking wide Tiki is just like absolutely just a death sentence, and he goes for it, and he dies, and he puts his team at a 3v4. You got to kind of play your life if you're going to anchor the B site. Just not a particularly smart play out of Clay. New York's going to be able to push. Obviously going to be able to push up and get a trade. Ace is actually going to get one back, but not much you can do with the numbers. And Max left it
Because Clay, because they stacked the A side of the map in the middle of the map, and Clay was by B by himself and got picked. And that's where, I think, how Zinni saying, you and Zinni keep saying stack sites.
If he plays back basketball and just stays alive, then they can retake from wherever.
Right. I mean, it's all hypothetical.
And maybe you get a kill on the guy planting bomb. Like, he just got to play his life. He's just going for glory, trying to get a kill.
Right, and that's where teams, I don't mind the decision-making by some of these teams, but their execution isn't right. Like, if you're going to stack B and they're not there, then you need to push through or rotate out back and hit A instantly, and you need to do something fast because then you're just giving the other team too much time to think and react to everything that's going on.
Yeah, but
I
your
understand.
stack is pointless, though, because, like, your stack is just so, like...
But the whole point of the stack was because of watching VODs and probably trying to blind counter Op. They probably knew that OpTic liked to do something, or they... The reason why you see teams...
Here. I'm speaking in a general sense. I think stacking B is just an awful play. If you are gonna try to play presence at B, send 2 B and send 2 middle so you at least have info on A. Because if you stack B, right, there's a couple options. 1, they're playing slow and they're gonna hit B late. 2, they're hitting out A, or 3, they're playing spread. It's usually, in my opinion, the probability that they're hitting A is higher, and I think the probability of you retaking A is lower than you retaking B from mid quick, if that makes sense.
And I'm not
retake A from mid. You can do that to B.
And I'm not really disagreeing with you. Like, I definitely understand what you're saying. I just think that maybe if you're playing a team and you know that they like to do this or like to do that, or you're watching VOD and you see them constantly hitting the same side or something like that, calls might be being made like, yo, they like to do this, let's give it a stack, and if they go A, we'll take the risk. And that's the problem with certain blind counters and stacking like that. It might not be the best play, which is where I will agree with you and Ben on that, but it's a risk that they're willing to take. It's a calculated risk. It's something that they've been probably watching in VOD. Maybe it's something they've been noticing in game. Obviously, it wasn't here because it was early on when they were doing it, but sometimes in the middle of games, teams are doing things and you kind of catch on to what they're doing and you try to adapt midway through and you try and hit them with blind counters and stuff. But I 100% understand what you're saying because...
Let's move on, guys, because
I don't give a fuck. I don't care if people in the chat say move on. We were talking about the fucking last play with Scump and everybody's like, oh, move on already. Nah, fuck off. We have a whole show. If we have plays that we want to talk about and we're debating, we're going to talk about it. I don't give a fuck.
Mac almost 1v3s here, though. I actually had to tip this. I don't know what
he missed the punch,
hold
bro.
Hold on.
I thought he had that.
I thought it went right through him. That guy's Danny fucking Phantom.
You think so?
I'm pretty sure his elbow went right through his jaw.
I think he took a step to the left and he had just missed him, but unbelievable effort out of Mac. This was insane.
Yeah, this would have been nuts.
I had my hands in my head when that happened.
I was like,
said,
bro,
oh my god, that would have been nuts if he did that. That would have been fucking nuts. OpTic did a good job clutching. Who won that one at the end?
This was
You don't have to go back. It's not that big of a deal, but it was a good play.
But this is the swing round right here. This round was absolutely insane, and I think this is where the momentum kind of stopped from the OpTic side. New York's going to kind of set up, throw a little bit of stuff B, but it doesn't seem like they're going there because the bomb is in art. They're going to end up kind of rotating over to A, and this is the start of the madness time.
Pause it. This is why I lose full. So listen, pretty much what happened there, I'm pretty sure number 7 got spotted, right? Like they saw Mac basketball, so they're probably thinking it's a B hit. So they all started rotating over. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why doesn't someone take mid with Seth instead of triples? Like
I agree. I don't like Seth middle by
himself. What the fuck are you gonna do there? Like,
yeah, I don't like him middle by himself either. There's too many places.
You have 3 people essentially in the same exact area. That's all one line of sight.
Yeah,
You know
I don't like this at all from OpTic
If someone
either.
comes mid, Seth or whoever comes mid can turn and at least have info on A. And right here, Seth is forced to watch Zig. His teammates are probably calming it's a B hit. He's watching Zig. This is literally a free A plant. They get full A control.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not sure why they're like Seth, and we've seen this a lot with Seth, where he's just soloed. He's in the map by himself.
I don't think this
like he's
situation's
soloed
on
out.
him though. I think it's
it's not. It's not on Scump. It's not on Scump. It's on the
not at all.
Regardless, it's on the whole team.
He doesn't have.
It's on the whole team. They're on the same page. I mean, right here. I mean, even back where OpTic was stacked by that balcony area by B, even says pool stairs was open. His Zig, pillars, and pool stairs were all open. Nobody had eyes on any of that
this
stuff.
goes back to what Zim was talking about, right? How do we see a lot of teams play this situation? They're either getting our control and hidden from that way, or they're getting laundry control and hidden from the other way. Look at what OpTic is setting up to do here. They're looking to pinch the guy in Zig, and they know that Mac may still be like top bedroom or whatever. Yeah, I know they kind of almost do end up kind of winning this round, but I just felt like, to your earlier points, it just seems like there's just not a lot of 4-person commitment out of OpTic on these retakes.
Also, in my opinion, when the bomb goes down A, the last thing you ever want to do is retake from Art. The reason why is most of the time there's going to be no one there, so you're wasting your time. The clock is dwindling down. Then by the time you kill the guy's back laundry, which is unlikely, you're not going to have time to defuse. The best chance you have to retake A is to all go back laundry, because that's most likely where they're going to be, and you have to take those fights. Unless they plant for mid, which, I mean, usually they should not be able to plant for mid. But if they plant for laundry side, you have to go retake laundry side. By the time you get our control, there's going to be no time on the clock. It's pointless even if you get those kills.
Watch how New York does it in this diffuse round, right? New York, I believe they sort of play in middle this round. If I remember correctly, yeah.
Well, speaking of the 3-2 round, before we move on to it, I talked to Clay after the map because we were outside, and he said the same thing about that 3-2 round because he asked me, he said, what were they doing in the 3-2 round? And I was like, honestly, they just gave up A. They were stacking B. Seth was alone middle. Like, they seemed like they were kind of hesitant, and they didn't really know where you guys were at. And Clay was even like, was like, dude, fuck it. Like, I was like, we was playing. He's like, I'm going to just get the bomb down.
I agree with you. Look, they planted for laundry, and 2 guys backed up, and 2 guys pushed out. And
listen, if
what happens? They got exposed by the 4v2 retake, and they couldn't see the bomb.
Exactly. Listen, if the play this round was to keep Seth alive art side to use the streak, send Seth by himself all the way back garage and say, you're out of this fucking play. Go camp in a corner, hold our Zig pinch, do something. The other 3, get to back laundry. Here, Envoy's left to dry. The poor kid's throwing shoulders. He sees the entire fucking team on his monitor. He's dead. The bomb is planted for laundry. Number 1 and 3... Exactly what happened is what couldn't happen. They call the streak, they get the guy off the bomb, another guy hops in the defuse, and there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, that's very weird. I don't know what their thought process was. Like, why would you plant the bomb for laundry, but have half your team on the other side?
But I think it goes back to Tim's earlier point. Like, you shouldn't be setting up to use a streak for a post plant hold. No, like that just seems like you're setting yourself up to fail. I agree with you, Zin. You should be trying to set up like you're just going to win it with gun.
It's fine if it's the last resort. Like, leave Seth and Art alone, hold the Zig pinch. That's fine. Other 3, go hold back laundry where the bomb's planted for. Like, you should be able to 3v4 it probably back laundry. And worst comes to worst, it's what, a 1v2? And then Seth has the artillery to play info and then call it in. If that was the play, like, it should have been Seth alone instead of a 2v2, because this was a little unlucky, but it's like, it's a good play from New York. Yo, they can't see us on the bomb. Hop on it immediately.
Yeah, and I want to say, too, you got to give Asim his props here, because his positioning was perfect. He held the angle where nobody could see him to his right, and he just holds the push through. So if anybody tries to come from pillars and shoot him off the bomb, he has it. And if anybody tries to run up and check the bomb, and that's where OpTic fell apart, like Zinni said, because the bomb isn't planted for them and they didn't stack the right side of the map, which honestly is a really, really bad mistake. It shouldn't happen like that. And Asim took full advantage of it with his positioning, and he just held the angles, and OpTic were cornered. They had a push, and Asim held the angle. And I remember when this happened in the crowd, everybody thought they got him off the defuse. The OpTic fans flipped out. They went crazy. Everybody started going nuts. And then it said New York Subliners win, and then they all went, oh, because I was like this. And then I started flipping out, and I was like, dude, unbelievable. A game of seconds, milliseconds in. Milliseconds. It's crazy. And that was a big swing round as well.
Listen,
Big swing.
if they were, I don't even know, because I mean you have to plant for laundry. I mean, like, you can't plant for middle there, so it's like maybe Seth should use the artillery earlier in the round to get info and scare the fuck out of New York. It's like, okay, now they all know we're back laundry. That's a little different, but listen, however that round was played is not how it should be played ever. So I hope to see a little more coordination. And
I agree.
Well,
I agree with
let's
you,
talk about
Zen.
New York
Honestly, I agree
on
with you.
this offense here.
Wait,
they
wait,
actually
go back,
plan for art.
fuck me, go back. How are they getting the bomb down for mid? How? Get him off the bomb.
They planned it for red. I don't think they planned it for mid.
No, they planned it for mid, Ben.
Look,
he's planning mid.
Well, I thought they were playing.
But
is this
Seth's
not the
alone
art
again.
plan?
He has to watch his zig and pillars. If you have two
Well,
mid, this guy is dead
He
off
had the initial
bomb.
spot too, Zen, because like he actually gets the info that they're planning A, and then he still gets left out to drive by his team.
I just don't understand here, like, look, rewind it a little bit. When
Yeah.
Seth gets pushed out middle, right? Pause it.
I'm losing.
So
control,
right
I'm
here,
sorry.
pause it. Number 2 here should get mid control with Seth. You know, like, is that Envoy? It's Envoy, right? And I don't know if he has a sub, and if he has a sub, he should definitely get fucking mid control with Seth. Because then somebody can hold the zig push, and then somebody can sit mid and hold the cross to the bomb. They can't plant for middle, because you have it, like Zinni's saying. And then, if you see them cross over to A, well, now you have the information. Now you have people taking long routes, or you back up and push something out together as a team. But again, you have one guy shimmying B, and I think this was also a heads-up play to New York, because they're baiting OpTic here.
Yeah.
They're showing eyes B, and they're trying to make OpTic feel like they're going B, and it worked. And honestly, I don't think it shouldn't work. I feel like if OpTic has mid control, they should be able to have all the information.
Yeah.
And I agree with Zinni every step of the way.
Can I address something I saw in chat? Mid control is actually really important in this map. Watching a good team play on
It's
offense and
everything.
defense. Having a guy mid is really key. It sets you up to rotate to one side of the map very quickly, but you also make a lot of plays from mid map across either A or B.
Yeah, hold on.
side.
Let me speak up, because maybe I over exaggerated this a little bit.
Yeah.
I guess because Seth got the A cross info, I mean, like, if I'm OpTic, I'm assuming that the bomb is going down for laundry. So if I'm Seth, I'm not even, like, thinking to check. Like, it was a super ballsy play from New York, and honestly one that I disagree with, because the risk, like, yeah, it worked out, but, like, very, very easily, if Seth just got the timing to look at the bomb, killed Asim right here, well, they're kind of fucked. They have all the info on the bomb, they have mid-map control. So it was a ballsy play from New York, and, I don't know, man. I mean, honestly, yeah. I think that was more of a lucky play from New York than like a misplay from OpTic.
But I like it late
the
in
plan
that
aspect.
It's good late in S&D map though, like those type of plays, you know, especially if like they went for the home runner, like they went like wrapped like water stairs or something to play for that. But New York do end up just kind of they just end up kind of holding art. They don't really got to do much. They put pressure mid with Hydra. Like this is sort of a GG at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's nothing you can do here.
Because unlike what OpTic did in the previous round, New York planted the bomb for them, and they stacked the side the bomb was planted on. So they don't have to do anything. They have eyes on bomb. They throw shimmies. OpTic needs to make the play. Where OpTic planted the bomb for the wrong side, where they were forced to make the play, and New York took advantage of it. So mistakes coming out of OpTic, and New York taking full advantage of it.
Let me also say, the reason Asim's play, in my opinion, is a bad play and ended up working out is no one was watching his mid. If someone's sitting on that ring heady watching his mid map, his plan's completely different because you have eyes on mid, you have info, you have someone watching over you. Him doing it by himself, it's super ballsy. The risk obviously gave him the reward because it worked out, but I mean, fuck, that's a lucky round for him, in my opinion.
I want to talk about this round again.
Hey, Ben, take it easy, Ben.
Bro.
Relax.
I mean, but this
is balls of steel right here.
It's gonna be okay, Ben.
I know, but like if you're on the New York side, bro,
it's gonna be alright.
Like, they have taken a lot of mid control in this map. You're telling me at no point they're expecting people to just peek back at them? There's no pre-fires. There's no attempt to hold the angle.
Well, let it play out. You're always pausing the fucking thing.
Yeah, I want to explain the clip and then play it because they don't fucking shoot back.
Well, right here, I don't know what the fuck. Did New York just think they weren't gonna do nothing?
I mean, basically what happened.
Because right here, I'm like, okay, we're on defense. We're up 5-3, and every time I see 3-5, I think of fucking Zane.
Yeah, GG middle round. It's like I should be fucking waiting for this.
It's a scary one.
I think of fucking Big Tony every time I see.
Yeah, I get
3-5.
the trophy was important. We got 2 other guys with guns, so like, what's the point?
I don't know, Ben. I don't know what the fuck they were doing. I even looked at my girlfriend. I said, I don't know what the fuck that was.
And then you're like, okay, well, shit. Now it's for probably.
And now OpTic goes back to the defense, so I start panicking now. Now I'm like, Jesus, fuck.
I saw this break and I thought it was about to be a super hard counter A. I don't know about this, but like I saw this and I saw all the arrows heading towards A. I was like, oh shit, this is about to be a hard counter. So they go for the 2-2, actually the 1-3 split.
Mm-hmm.
New York's gonna do a good job of sort of working this A side, and again, just not really a strong defense out of OpTic. Oh, actually, no. They started the round where they picked formal
Go
top
back,
winner
go
and there's a
back.
couple of
Hold on.
singles.
I want to
Yeah.
see if Seth got the time and see them cross.
They
Okay,
no,
yes,
they
sir.
knew they
Okay.
were here. They knew
He
they were
saw-
here.
he
Zig.
saw it.
He said
They
someone
knew.
cross. Okay.
They knew. You could tell by the
His
way the
phone was-
arrows are moving. But the
Matt
pop,
could've played a better angle there.
but the
Matt's
Matt should have
gotta
stayed
know,
alive.
He should be in a fucking corner
Ma-
and playing
yeah.
for one. And
Matt
to me,
should have
it's a
stayed
straight
alive, but this is also no hezzy rush out of New York. They took advantage of not hesitating. Look, they don't hesitate at all. Look, they literally just sprint. And the reason why that was such a good play, not hesitating, is because they beat OpTic over on that rotation of laundry. They beat OpTic there. They're able to single out Matt before his teammates are even there to work trades and get help. And they're able to get a pick and stay alive with their lives. You'll see a lot of teams, they throw shimmies. They're looking at stuff. They hesitate when they're pushing sites. They check things.
Let me ask you this, Tom.
New York fucking went for it, bro.
And I actually don't know the answer to this question. When teams play that like soft A defense, do they not throw like nades over, like a stun over initially to try and get some info?
You're saying you're
Sorry.
talking
Yeah,
about
I'm saying on the
Optic?
OpTic side, they don't really use any utility like off the break here. Try and slow down any kind of push or rush. Try to get any info. Like,
Well,
oh,
are
these
they
guys
using
in.
a mid? They might be using some of their tax mid. You know, maybe. I know from the Zig side of the map, people like to use their tax early, but maybe they were using a mid. But I don't think tax was like a big issue here. I really don't. I think it was a good heads up play out of New York to take advantage of Formal, who singled out. And maybe Formal should have played his life a little bit better, but I don't think he felt the presence. I don't think he realized they were all up on him like that. I mean, New York didn't even it was a good play out of New York right there. It was a really good play. I think the no hesitation really helped them out there because a lot of times you see teams, it just takes them too long to do stuff. And when I say take them too long to do stuff, I mean 2 seconds. 1-2 seconds. Like, this is a game of seconds. It's all timings. That's all COD is.
What's Brandon doing? What's Dashy doing here, man? Like, they just pushed out laundries.
Now, pause this. This is where I was confused. I was talking to Clay after the match.
I'm like, well,
And I
what's
said,
going
Clay,
on?
the last round, I don't know what OpTic was doing because you guys didn't hesitate. You got the bloods, whatever. You all rushed B. They saw all of you B. They saw you. I'm sure they called out.
Circle, yeah.
And Bruce turns around, backs up, checks B, and then number 3, Scump, mid-map, just sits mid-map. They don't even make a play, and they're not even looking at the site where New York just 4 hit. So I'm like, did they like overthink this? Like, did they think New York with numbers is gonna rotate the bomb? They got the kills, they got the laundry control. New York knows that they have the power here. They have the map control. They have everything. I don't know why OpTic backed up. Maybe they're trying to catch New York slipping and maybe see if they were making a mistake here, but I just feel like Dashy and Scump need to do something here together and try and make a play, and that's not what happened. And I think the decision making just took too long for them. Is somebody at the door?
Nah, I thought someone was.
Oh. But I think that was the main thing for them. So, for me, the biggest problem with OpTic so far in their S&D, they just seemed indecisive and sometimes, to be honest, a little scared. They seemed like they didn't want to push at times when they could have pushed. You know, you want to push an S&D. You want to get those power positions. You want to get that map control. And a team like New York, who is very hyper-aggressive, you have Bobble coming up on stage, clapping and shit. You see the frustrations from the OpTic guys. You see Clay getting all hype. And I'll tell you what, to see these New York guys like this in high spirits is good to see. Because we know that they've been having problems as a team. And it's nice to see these guys back together and doing what they can do. Because we saw these guys a month or 2 ago.
Is Clay doing some after Craigslist there?
Yeah, Clay was talking shit. But to be fair, I mean, Clay was getting booed the whole time. Even in his interview, they were booing him. I mean, that's what happens. Clay's an emotional guy, and people are going to talk shit on Clay.
Yeah.
But every time he goes on stage, he gets booed. So he makes them act out.
I feel him on that, yeah.
You know, so it's, you know, I mean, Clay even says, so you're talking shit. He's like, well, I'm getting booed, man. They fucking hate me. I said, well, what are you going to do, Clay? Good job. Good games. On to the next one. You know, it's part of the game. So I love to see that shit. I like to see the teams bicker back and forth. I like to see the crowd boo and get into it and cheer for their favorite boo. It's part of the sports. It's part of esports. I like that shit. So the crowd was electric today. Absolutely fucking electric. Then the next 2 series was a little interesting. There is a lot of tweets coming out that I do want to pull up. A lot of frustrations from teams that are being eliminated.
Do you have the tweet set up?
No, I don't, but I'll switch screens and I'll pull them up.
Yeah.
But there's definitely a lot of frustrations coming out of the LA Thieves camp after a loss here against the Minnesota Rokkr. This obviously went down to a final map. I unfortunately was a little bit busy during this map, but I know you watched it and you took some notes down, and I did watch the second half of this match. So I'm curious to see what you guys think happened here with LA Thieves, especially using were you at homes in watching all these?
Yeah, so first things first, I mean, I think I speak for every player when the format isn't necessarily ideal. I mean, I don't think any team should show up to a tournament in the losers bracket, especially the biggest one of the year. I would like to
play one series and go home. Yeah.
Yeah, I would have liked to see an 8-team winners bracket if that's possible. I'm not really logistically sure how a bracket looks like that. Nonetheless, I don't agree with that. I mean, if you're already sending 4 teams home from the event, at least let the 7 and 8 team, who are obviously good enough to be at the tournament, let them start from winners, right? Give them that same fair shot. I'm not sure if it would have done much. I mean, to be honest, like Thieves obviously has potential, but it's not like Thieves, in my opinion, was like a player to win this tournament. At least from what we saw here and what we saw prior, right? Like John struggled. John struggled a lot this series. Austin was phenomenal. Ken was great at times.
Take the John thing out of the equation. Look, I know John did a bad series.
You want to take it out of the equation?
I'm using the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Go ahead, Zen. Go take a leak.
What I think is the bigger story, other than John's bad series today, is they have rotated now 3 different players throughout this year into that like aggressive sub-entry sub-spot. And neither of the 3 have played well. So, like, to me, that's a little bit weird. Because I think a bunch of those players are very talented, right? You got Hook, you got Venom, you got John, you got TJ played in that position. And neither 4 of those players really, like, excelled. So I wonder if it's less about the player and more about the system they're playing around their ARs. I'm not really sure. And I agree with Zin's point. I didn't really have Thieves as a team feel is going to make a losers run, and it obviously sucks that they kind of are done on day 1. But I just felt like, again, it's a lot of the same problems they've had all year. Just inconsistent slaying. It feels like at times they really need Kenny and Slasher, or just any of the ARs that didn't matter, and there were like 99 different combinations of the team they've had to step up. And now they're just going to go off to the beach, man, after 1 series.
To the beach? Do you think that's where they're going? To the beach?
I will say that I think that Thieves... We've talked a lot on the show this year that looking way far ahead in this offseason, we thought Thieves was going to be a huge player. I still think that, especially with them getting top 8 this event, I think it gives them ammo to really blow up this team. If it were me, I think it's time to really build around Kenny and Jiraza, and I think that they're going to have the ability to attract maybe 2 more kind of premium blue chip players. I'm very curious to see what they do.
Yeah, I think LA Thieves just had a rough year, man. They had a rough year. So many changes, so many ups and downs. They went through a lot of highs and lows, mostly lows, to be honest. I know Nate Shot really wants to see these guys win. I know he's on vacation right now with his girlfriend. But right now, I think the team is just... I didn't expect them to do that well here just because of all the problems they've had throughout the year. And they never really showed like they were a championship caliber team in this game. And would you agree with that? To me, they never... I never... LA Thieves was never a team that crossed my mind as a team that could potentially come out and win the event. The only way I would say that is because they do have a good, talented roster on paper. Great roster on paper. But they just haven't shown it. They haven't shown it. And I think, going into next year, a lot of these players are going to want to change to, turn their year around. They want to come back with the fire, which we know that they
can.
It's
not about the players. I just think
it's about the team.
I think, again...
This team's done, by the way. They're done.
This team's done. They try to keep some of that cohesion they've had for the last couple of years.
Finito.
But now, look where this core of this team is at. They haven't won since they won on that streak in Black Ops 4. They're winless now in about, 2.5, 3 years?
Yeah.
I just think the core of the Kenny Slasher Teach core is just sort of over with, and I think now on Thieves' side they have a lot of really interesting decisions to make about this roster, because I think they've got some interesting ability and role on this roster, but I think they're gonna have to look outside of their normal system and see if they can attract some of the bigger free agents that are gonna be on the market in this offseason.
Well, listen, Slash is done with this team.
Oh, the way he tweeted out this event?
Well, let's read what he tweeted. I got it. We're not even going to put it on the screen. I'll just read it to you guys. Slasher came out and said, "Not surprised. Losing 2-3-5 again, ... Super underappreciated as a team and individually in those modes because of my 2-month vacation, in quotes. LOL, in parentheses, he said. GG's Minnesota, another year of competition. I feel that just was stripped away from me. I'm sick to my stomach." To me, I feel for the guy because I don't know if
I got a problem with this.
I don't like the tweet. I didn't even talk yet, but I don't like the tweet. I feel for the guy because he just lost.
Yeah.
I personally don't like the tweet because I feel like he's throwing shade a little bit. But at the same time, he did get dropped for 2 months. And
but from my understanding, a lot of that is how he conducts himself on the team. I just feel with someone like Austin, I love the guy and we love having him on the show, but I like to see more self-accountability out of him. I would like to see some awareness that sometimes he's not a positive personality on the team, and he should be giving an indication of how he's going to make it a better run himself.
Okay, but
maybe he thinks he's already gone.
I mean, then maybe he doesn't care when he tweets
Which
it out.
I'm gonna be honest, from things I'm hearing and seeing, and not just amongst pros and stuff, but Reddit, Twitter, you see some of the pros talking. A lot of people think Octane's coming here. A lot of people think that's all the talk. That's all you see on Reddit and social
Sam
media.
Fixes their issues, but go ahead, Zen.
I don't think it's gonna fix their fucking issues either.
Go ahead, Zen.
Here's the thing about Austin, in my opinion, who's a very good friend of mine. Starting a game with Austin can be difficult because if the team isn't great off the start, his drive to win and his passion obviously comes forward, and some people may not like that. That's why in the past you've always seen sort of Austin join a very good team like midway through or whenever the game is figured out, and they're dominant because Austin's a very good player, an incredible player when everybody knows what they're doing, everybody's on the same page. When you're trying to figure out the game with Austin and there's adversity and the team is struggling and he gets frustrated, some people don't really like the way he deals with that.
But here's my problem with Zen is I get that in the CWL era where you can drop your team after 5 seconds. But you're in a franchise era where the roster moves are difficult to pull off. And I feel like sometimes I would like to see him. I think Clay's going through a similar thing. It's about how do you position yourself with the players in your team to make them overperform. I feel like sometimes he misses the mark on that.
I mean, I feel like Austin coming back into the team was a different Austin because he knew he had to be a different Austin.
That's what I heard too, that he was definitely improving his attitude.
I think frustrations are high because one, there is a lot of rumors going on about this LA Thieves roster, and it might be chalked up. Two, the kid did get fucking shafted. They dropped him for 2 months and then realized it was going to land. Yeah. And then they fucking brought him back, and he performed.
Yeah.
And he did good.
And Tom,
he's been performing.
Tom, he's in the chat. He wants to be on the show in 2 weeks. We got you booked. Austin, come on the show. Let's talk about the situation.
Chat.
Yeah.
Phenomenal, Austin. Sorry, I've been looking at the gameplay.
Yeah, it's all good.
But listen, I understand frustrations are high. Austin, I personally didn't like the tweet, but I think frustrations are high here, man. I can understand where he's coming from.
They played well on this map. Oh, look, they were kind of trailing for a good portion of this map, and they did the classic P4, P5, P1, man. Minnesota go all dead in like the worst situation here. They end up flipping out, I believe, right? They get all these kills up. Mm-hmm. Flipping out like 20 seconds left. Dylan's trying to stay alive in the back. Can't do anything about that. And now Thieves in the driver's seat in this map because you got the P5 spawns. But go ahead, Tom.
I mean, I'm going to be honest. I thought Minnesota was done. Bro, they got slammed in the first series. Then they have a grueler map 1 against LA Thieves, and they lose it.
Yeah.
And it's just the adversity from these guys again, that they just find themselves in holes, and they just dig themselves out of it. And, I think for anybody who competes or in gaming or sports or anything, it's admirable. You got to respect these guys because they never give up. I mean, Minnesota's always pushing. But LA Thieves made a good play to break onto these spawns. They knew it was important here at the end, and they took care of business, and they were able to close out map 1. It was a very close game. It was very back and forth. So, 2 good teams going at it head-to-head. I mean, all 8 teams here, guys, are incredible teams, incredible players. We knew we were going to have some banger series, and we're going to continue to have banger series throughout the weekend. But other than LA Thieves clutching up this first map, what was the difference maker throughout the rest of the series, would you say?
I think there were the resilience on the Minnesota side after having a really bad first series, and then they get kind of smoked map 1. I think we've just learned a lot about this team's mental fortitude to deal with adverse situations. They had plenty of them today that they were able to overcome.
And you talk about Austin, but John struggled today.
John played very bad.
He had a 0.5.
John,
I mean, very
well.
And listen, I am the one person who always says, stop looking at stats unless you watch the game and match the stats up with the games. You can't just look at a stat sheet and say this. But I do say that sometimes stats will tell the answers, but you have to watch the games. And to me, John definitely struggled. I mean, looking at the stat sheet, a 0.5 is not good. It's not good. And I think you say Austin needs to take accountability. I think so does John. I think,
but we talked.
But it was also one series too.
To me,
which goes back to the fucking what Zinni was saying.
I just felt like
the format.
They kept cycling that aggressive sub player. I would have liked to have seen them maybe keep Venom. Like the John move to me, like he was obviously playing well in challengers, but it was a risky move. He hadn't played Pro COD in a minute, and I'll be straight up about John. The last time we saw him in the Pro League, he was inconsistent, just like we've seen from Teej. Like, he wasn't out here world starring every series, so it was a little bit of a risk. And again, it's one of those positions where they've been unable to overcome the weakness in terms of their depth on that aggressive SMG position.
Yeah, so I definitely think that's the hardest role to find. You know, like
it's a premium role, yeah.
It's a hard role to find because there's not many players that can do it at the highest level, especially when you're playing against top of the top SMGs like Stadium and Attach or Simp and Abizi and Asim and Hydra and Envoy and Scump.
Well, you name a lot of players
and all
that are
these
good at their
fucking
role.
guys.
I think they're so good at their role because they know when to be aggro, but they also know when to wait and play off their team. And I feel like players watching.
Or it's a good balance.
Well, hold on, let me finish.
Go ahead.
Watching Thieves sometimes in the last few weeks, to me, like sometimes I feel like the ARs are on a totally different page from the sub players, and they're not acting as like a cohesive unit of four. It's almost like duos running the map. And there was an era of COD where you can get away with that, but now like you got to have a really good ability to team shot people, and I feel like they've gone away from that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a team game. If you're not doing anything together, which is why I was saying about the OpTic play they made before, I thought situationally, you know, because they did it as a team and they recognized the situation at hand, it was a good play, and that's what some teams struggle to do. They don't have that decisiveness.
This team also just wasn't a very good search team. I mean, like Austin's tweet.
They were dirt shit at S&D.
Like we lost 2-3-5. We were under practice. Austin knows very well 2 months is enough time to get on the same page and search and destroy and have good strats. That's a fucking cop out.
They've been playing this game since October, November. What is the quote that every pro always says and has been saying for years? In like April and May, everybody knows how to play the game. You got to work on your teamwork and the situationals, so you guys have that understanding. But like even then, like I feel like they've had plenty of time to prep for champs since that last major. No,
they just weren't a very good search team. It's just that simple. Control is. I mean, they also weren't. I guess they were inconsistent at control, but like Minnesota is miles better at search and destroy as a team than LA Thieves are.
That's facts.
I'm not shocked to see them win map 2 and 5.
What did Austin say? We couldn't practice
S&D for 3 to 4.
Why not, Austin? What the fuck were you guys doing for 3 weeks? Jerking each other off? What do you mean you didn't practice S&D for 3 weeks? Bro, do I need to walk over right now? Just spewing bullshit? Why not?
Walk over.
Come over. Text him the fucking room number.
Yeah.
I'll be in the room number, Austin.
Get over here if you want. I mean, Austin, I don't want to, you know,
based on your tweet,
if you
from
want.
An outside perspective, 2 months is enough time to win one search map.
What happens?
Wrong when I say that?
Say that again, Zing.
I said 2 months is enough time to win one search map. Like, it's not like you need 6 months of S&D practice as a 4 to be a good search team. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, right. Minnesota just simply had them outclassed in search and destroy, in my opinion.
No, they did. They did. LA Thieves struggled in S&D, and we saw with OpTic in their S&Ds, and now you're seeing it with LA Thieves. S&D is important, which is why I think Toronto is fucking incredible. I think they're a top 3 team. Bro, I think Toronto is insane. I think their S&D and the way...
They're so good at search.
They're very good at search, and that's what makes them a deadly team, because they're really, really good at search, which means they always have 2 and 5 pretty much in the bag. Obviously, they can lose searches. They've lost searches.
They were asked for like the entire year, and they came around and got good.
Yes, right, and they get their map pool better. They get their maps better. They start getting better in respawn, and now they become a team that's just really, really hard to beat. Along FaZe and OpTic and New York, these teams are good because they have a lot of map pools and they're good at multiple game modes. I mean, it's important. You can't have weak game modes anymore. You can't. You're not gonna win. There's too much competition. There's too many people. There's too much talent. There's too many good teams. The teams are going to punish you in game modes that you're not good in. And trust me when I tell you this. You have coaches. You have a coaching staff. You have a lot of teams with analysts now. People are watching. If a team has a bad mode, they know about it. Everybody knows.
And they're going to have a good game plan to go against that.
At least the good teams know about it. You know what I'm saying? So, like, the preparation going into some of these matches, I'm sure, is insane. And you hear it now. Asim talking about last night. Asim on the stream was saying he's going back to watch VODs. I'm sure OpTic was doing it. He just went back with the team now. They're probably going to prepare for tomorrow. I mean, everything is super calculated. These guys are working around the fucking clock, guys. So, I mean, I could definitely, I definitely think LA Thieves not practicing S&D for 3 weeks is a fucking serious problem.
Yeah,
what the fuck, Austin?
I want to know what's up with that.
What the fuck is that all about?
I mean, there's obviously a good reason. It's probably, I mean...
You think?
I mean... If they couldn't play S&D for 2 to 3 weeks, I mean, there has to be a reason why, and it has to be legitimate. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure they could have found S&D practice. I don't know. All I'm saying is, like...
He said COVID. He said.
But there were plenty of teams scrimming during the whole situation after Major 5.
Well, no. Hold on. Well...
Scump and... Who had COVID on LA Thieves?
I'm not sure if it's public. Like, I don't want to, like, air someone's medical business out. You know what I'm saying?
I don't remember. I know other people had it. I don't remember exactly.
Oh, okay. It was Kenny. Okay, Ken tweeted it. Yeah. So, I guess they couldn't scrim for 2 to 3 weeks because Kenny had it. Well,
he tweeted it,
But Austin, that
Let's
has nothing to do with you getting benched. No, that is like a unfortunate circumstance.
Well,
that
I mean,
popped
I'm
up.
just confused because Scump and Envoy had COVID, and Scump was playing every day. So we're using
no,
it.
that's not true.
Okay.
Seth Chalk scrims 2 days. They tried scrimming, but it was not possible.
For how long?
2 days,
3 weeks? 2 days compared to 3 weeks. You see how it's not adding up to me.
There are plenty of teams playing best of 11. That's
listen,
why I'm
I don't
trying to
know about their
understand what the
situation, so I'm
is
not
here.
going to comment
Yeah.
on their situation.
Well, to be fair,
my point is
you know,
Minnesota is a better search and destroy team.
Yeah, which is you're right. So.
I don't like talking about
that.
right. I don't like talking about COVID either because if Kenny was really sick, maybe he got hit with it a lot harder than some of these other guys. He could have been feeling a lot worse. I don't know. That's why I personally don't like talking about COVID. But 3 weeks seems like a lot of time to me, and I don't know if that was the whole. I don't know if COVID is everything. I'm sure COVID was a little bit of that, but I don't know if that was all of it.
They didn't scrim for 2 to 3 weeks overall.
That's what he said in the. That's
2
what.
to 3 weeks.
No, search. I think search.
They were definitely scrimming after Major 5. I know that.
Oh, so then maybe that's what it was.
Yeah,
Maybe they just weren't playing S&D.
What I'm trying to figure out is why they weren't playing best of 11s then. That's what I'm curious what the situation is here.
I don't know. I don't like talking about the COVID stuff because I'm not in the person's body and I don't know how they feel. You know, so it's hard to comment on it. But when you have other teams with COVID who are doing the work, it just makes you think about it. But at the same time, I would love to have Austin come on the show in a couple weeks and talk about it because I don't want to speak out of my ass and say something where I'm disrespecting somebody because I don't know the situation. Because I don't know the situation.
And a lot of shit went down there this year, and I would love to get his perspective
a lot of
on
shit. And I got respect to some of these players who are pushing through these lows, man. And if players are sick like Kenny and he's really feeling
Austin
it and he's really
me.
sick, I feel for the guy.
What did he say?
Because I hope his health is good and I hope he's doing all right.
So other teams chalked some of their search practice, which obviously isn't ideal, and then they obviously had to chalk some days of because of COVID. So because their players weren't feeling well. So that's fair.
So
some days of course, but other teams, that's sort of out of your control.
They didn't play a single S&D scrim between Major 5 and Champs.
But what he's saying is some teams chalk their scrims, and that's, once someone chalks your scrim that late in the day, it's probably hard to get. Listen, whatever. They didn't get as much search practice as they would have wanted. Nonetheless, who knows? Maybe if they did get that practice, they could have been better. My vote is that Minnesota would have stayed the better search team because, in my opinion, they're like a top 3 search team in the game. No?
But then you have people come. Yeah, but then you have people like Austin saying this stuff. I don't know. It sounds a little bit fugazi to me. I'm not gonna lie because I feel like 3 weeks is a lot of time to not play S&D or like 2 to 3 weeks.
Guys, Austin's not lying about that. That's not an excuse. Hold on. Let me clear something because everybody's saying excuses. Why would Austin lie about they could not get search practice for 2 to 3 weeks? Whatever the reason is, that is the truth. And I guess his point is.
I don't see them not scrimming S&D, especially knowing Austin. He was probably losing his shit if they weren't playing S&D.
Yeah,
but it might have been a situation they couldn't control. I don't know. We'll talk to him about it.
Is that if he didn't have that 2-month break, they would have had a lot more S&D practice as a team during that period, which is fair.
Mm-hmm. We'll talk to him about it because I don't know the situation.
I'm very curious. Yeah,
I'm curious as well. I'm curious. We'll talk to him about it. But at Minnesota, they come out, they tie the series up at 1, and Minnesota needed that shit, bro. Because it felt like Thieves came out better in the S&Ds and go up 2-0. Say they win the second map, it's a different series. I think you have a Minnesota now who's just deflated. They lost 5 maps in a row. They're in the losers bracket. They get bumped down. They get 3-0'd quick. And I think the map number 2, for them to bounce back and get a W like that, got their morales up a little bit and their confidence back. And, they're starting to get into rhythm, which is scary because we saw what Minnesota just did at Major 5. So we don't know what the fuck they're going to come out with tomorrow. Did they play tomorrow, right? Everybody plays tomorrow. Right, Ben?
I think everybody does play tomorrow.
Okay, so everybody plays tomorrow. We're going to have some good matches.
This round, so we're switching over to the control.
You went all the way to overtime.
I went over to overtime because the rest of this control is absolutely boring.
What, is it defensive heavy and shit?
Minnesota, I love Mike, but
what's the problem?
Dude, we'll get to it, man.
Okay.
Yeah, Minnesota trolled this pretty hard. Thieves are going to kind of lean towards B off the break of this round 5. They're going to get some pretty good control. Tom, watch what happens in the situation. There's Major Maniacs in pool. His teammate's going to die.
Oh, he falls off. Yeah. Oh, model.
There they go. Clay.
Yeah, bro.
Full B cap. And somehow Minnesota hold this A-hold pretty much clean end up closing this round. I just thought, man, they could have gone so south for Minnesota. So unfortunate. Bro, they have lost in the toughest ways this year with those teammates. And like, if they had lost this map because Mike fell off, man, that would have been so tragic.
Yeah, I mean, that was tough to watch. It was kind of funny. I mean, good thing they won the map.
I'm sure it's not funny to him, but...
I mean, watching it after they win the map, it's definitely funny. They won the map. I mean, if mistakes happen, bro. He fell off the fucking map. I mean, Clay's done it 25 million fucking times.
True.
You know, it is what it is. Sometimes you fall off the map. It just looked funny because they were in the third person when he was walking on the edge and he fell off.
They caught it like a perfect time.
Yeah.
You guys are saying that John is he 6 and 26 on this map? Is that
I don't
18
know.
and 34? Sheesh.
Oh,
Okay, well,
shit.
that's not ideal.
That's not ideal. He struggled. I think John's a great player, but he struggled today. He struggled. He didn't have the best of series, and you know, when your main submachine gun player is struggling like that, you're gonna feel the presence of that on the map.
I think from my POV, Tom, I think John will get another shot next year. Though again, we've talked about how there isn't a like surplus of aggressive sub players.
I don't know what the fuck
I don't know. I don't know if he's gonna get his choice of like fantastic teams. He might have to kind of have a prove it situation with a team like a Paris. But I think he's gonna have another shot. I just a weird situation for him this year. Oh, I think he'll get a shot. We make jokes about the Friendship League, but you know how it works, man.
I know how it works, and I'm gonna be honest. With no expansion being rumored coming into the play, and not a lot of spots there, I mean, I worry for John. I worry about a lot of people. I worry a lot of people waiting on the sideline right now. I worry about some of the players competing that aren't performing, especially from the people who are on the bottom 4 teams. I can see John getting on a team.
I would say it's good that he's an SMG. It's definitely...
Yeah, it benefits him. And I will say that I think he should get a spot.
There's just there's a lot more AR options right now. Way too many, whereas very little sub options, so he's got that going
and he should get a spot. He should. I mean, definitely did. I would give him a spot. It's John, bro. He deserves it.
It's John. He came in late.
Into a team that was kind of fucked up a little bit.
I don't think we need to act like... I don't think we need to speak about John. Like, if you don't know about John, do your COD history research. John, in my opinion, deserves another shot, so hope to see him back. I mean, he's a fucking great kid, too. Like, a fucking super good kid that works hard, so... I want to see John back, but he didn't... I mean, we got to call it how it is. He didn't play well this series, and honestly... He had some maps, but he didn't necessarily play great in the Pro League this year. But it's hard to blame him because it's not like Thieves were unreal without him. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
he joined an already average team.
Every aggressive sub player that they had on the team that played that role did not play well at all. So it's a bit of a weird. I don't know.
So you saying it might be a problem within the team? Their dynamics? You think it's the subs are struggling because of that?
I think there's a weird dynamic between ARs and the subs in their system. Is my hypothesis.
I saw Hook there today too. Hook. I saw people talking about Hook in the chat. He was there today. Hook was chilling. He was watching the matches. He was high spirited, super positive. He's another wild card going into next year.
Yeah, I know.
Somebody's got to pick up Hook.
I mean, he's going to be on a team. Let's not. I mean. Kyler's gonna be in the league. That I can assure everybody.
I think John will too. I worry for John. Like I said, I'm scared for a lot of people, but I think he'll get on the team. But I do worry a little bit. But we'll see. I mean, this offseason is gonna be insane. We've talked about it time and time again. Teams are already losing. I'm sure people are already texting, trying to team with each other. It happens all the fucking time.
The finesse is already happening, bro. You know how it goes down. People are already at the bar, Tom.
Yeah. Sunday night's gonna be a fucking shit show.
I'm gonna skip this map 4, by the way. It's really boring.
LA Thieves, they tie it up. They win the map number 4. They come out and win both hard points, which is good from LA Thieves. It's, I mean, their team is very, very talented. So, you know, the hard points was never going to be an issue for them. But 2-3-5, like Austin said, is where they really struggled. And we go into a 5th map, and it's Miami S&D.
How many times have we seen Minnesota play a map 5 Miami S&D this year?
All the time.
It's got to be like 5 or 6 times.
All the time.
I think before we just put a cap on that, Tom, I think for Minnesota... who end up winning this map 5, they got to get back on that hardpoint way, man. They looked awful hardpoint today, and they may not make it to Saturday if they keep playing this way in that game mode.
Yeah, I mean, what is it about Miami S&D that teams just can't keep up with Minnesota on this map? Because I feel like they're constantly clutching up on this shit.
I think it like perfectly fits Minnesota's playstyle, like especially Dylan's playstyle.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, it's a lot of like angle holding, methodical plays, and it's like they've got a team with Mike. And Dylan attached, it kind of fits that playstyle, and then you mix it up with Standy and Preston, who are more dynamic players. I think it makes for a really good sort of base set that they can work off of on this map.
Mm-hmm. Well, somebody said
this
Parasite,
map is
please.
dirty asshole.
Wizen, speak to me.
This is the shit. This is what I call the cheese map.
The cheese map?
It's a whole lot of camping. It's a whole lot of cheese.
What kind of
it's a whole lot
cheese? What kind of? You
get-through-headies.
talking provolone, or you talking like just sharp cheddar
Oh,
type
man,
shit?
this is sharp cheddar. This is
Oh,
this is
fucking hell,
sharp
man. Oh,
cheddar.
fucking hell. Sharp cheddar. You gotta be fucking kidding me, Zen. Jesus. Miami S&D sucks to watch. I don't like it, though. I never have. I've been saying that the whole year. I don't really like it. I thought it was cool when they announced the daytime at Miami, and then they shortened it. They made it really small, and I liked the idea, but then they made it too small. So I was like, you know, I definitely think this map is kind of a snoozer, but it is a map 5, and it is Minnesota Rokkr going up against LAD, so it was a fucking banger. I just feel like Minnesota has played this map so many times that eventually people would catch on to kind of how they played a map and would be able to take them out. But by the looks of it, and this was the map I struggled to tune into because I was on the way back and I was setting everything up, but by the looks of it, LADs was able to pop a couple bloods this first round. They won the first round. They popped the blood in the second round. They didn't capitalize with their numbers. Does Minnesota end up clutching up here?
In this round?
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I kind of missed this round.
Yeah, honestly, I couldn't tell you. I know how it ends.
We were coming out of the car during this round.
Yeah. This things were a little bit mixy here this weekend, guys, because I'm running all over the place.
Well,
so sometimes
I was supposed to get here earlier, and then Adam got.
Well, let's take a look.
lost
Let's
and-
watch it. Let's watch it, because Zinni, you said you watched the end of this. This is a good clutch from. What happened there? Rewind that. What did LADs do right there? They got the B bomb down, right?
Yeah, but they don't. I mean,
And then how does
Kenny should go to. I mean, this is a weird
God,
situation, but like he's still gotta watch.
how
his
does
teammates
Drowser
back
die?
up.
Play it. Don't pause it. Oh,
It's
he gets
pinched.
flanked. What? Oh, he auto man through the truck. Kenny needs to back when the bomb's going down. I guess he's trying to watch over his
Tom,
teammate.
if he watches Godhead, he's not watching his teammate.
Well,
What if
Drowser needs to get the fuck out of there.
But I'm saying like if he's gotta I feel like it's such a shitty situation because he's gotta like they know that Preston's middle because of how this all went down, and so he's gotta watch or pick one of these 50-50 angles to watch for his teammate. He can't just sit there and just like hold Godheady and hope that Draza gets the bomb down. He's got to give him some cover. Instead, I guess Draza accidentally on him mouse. Now Kenny's fucked because he just can't do anything. Yeah.
And they're laid down. They're looking under the
He's
truck.
against two ARs,
I mean,
like
right
the whole
here.
angle is
I wanted
shot.
to read the tweet from Mud Dog real quick. He came out after the series. He said, just couldn't put it all together. We had our best 3 weeks of practice all year, and we're looking strong. Thanks to those who you who supported us through this tough year. Y'all are the real ones. I saw a lot of people saying Mud Dog tweet, so I just wanted to take a look. But it seems like everybody was playing well in practice. From the fucking sounds of it, which doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make sense because someone's got to be losing maps. Man.
Somebody's got to be losing. And I know New York isn't, and I know for sure FaZe isn't because I got the books for New York's and FaZe, and I see what
And
they're
I
doing.
don't think Ultra is.
Yeah, that too, because I know that they play a lot of
So
scrims.
who the fuck's losing maps? Minnesota's been getting worked in scrims. I heard Dallas has been in, they've been alright.
Crim's always doing his fucking thing, bro. You know how it is.
But yeah, I don't know. But see, a team like Dallas, though, it doesn't matter how they're doing in practice. A team like them, is going to be scary at the event. Florida, I don't know.
Florida, from my understanding, has been mixed in scrims for a
Hold
little
on,
bit.
go back.
Florida's the same way.
Go back. How did Standy just walk up mid there?
He probably just hit it. Were they not walking ahead? Let's see.
Oh, did Draws get bad timing here?
Attach blooded Austin.
Because Kenny, because Kenny's on the boat. His back's turned. He thinks he's golden. He gets shot from A bomb. They give up mid map here. Standy finds the lane. That has
they give up mid.
There's no way Standy just walks through mid.
They give up mid. They have to. Yeah, they give it up. Look, Standy finds the timing.
Wow. Okay.
He finds the timing, and he ends up pushing up, and Kenny gets blindsided. And once Kenny dies on that boat, it's a 3v2 with bomb down. This is raps.
Oh, yeah.
This is fucking raps. In Minnesota, they're really good at these post-bomb playing situations.
Yeah.
Look where Dylan is. Dylan's all the way in the back of the map. They have a guy in the Godheady on the boat, and then they have a guy who got the bomb down, push up in their spawn. So it's just a terrible situation for the LA Thieves.
I mean, both bomb sites on this map are very, very, very difficult to retake. As soon as the bomb goes down, if the other team has more than one person alive, I mean, there are so many power spots, right? Like the boat, middle map, like you can see the bomb from everywhere. And on the contrary, at B, I mean, you have that God Stairs Heady, where as long as someone's holding your flank, for the most part, you shouldn't die off that thing. So this map is very, very unforgiving if you let the other team get the bomb down.
Yeah, no, for sure. And you see a lot of people on Miami work to say bomb site. I love working beach and working A because I feel like it's just a lot easier than forcing your way through B. So it doesn't surprise me that a lot of teams at COD Champs are trying to work to say bomb site. Because I feel like in the beginning of the year it was all B. And remember in the beginning of the year on the flanks, what did I always say? I was always saying
there were
shit.
teams doing, like, early on in the year.
No, early on, I kept saying, why the fuck do teams keep going B every round? Why don't people go A?
You were able to just fast A because the guy in the house was just giving it up. But now teams have gotten really good at putting pressure on.
Mm-hmm.
This round almost gets kind of... actually, it's not this round, never mind.
I'm looking at a tweet. Take it away, Ben. Parasite reply tweet. Let's take a look. Let's take a look here.
Yeah, what are they on about? About the John stuff? Oh, no.
Miss having someone hit their pee-pee on my forehead, and Parasite said, excuse me.
No, not that one, not that. Jesus Christ, Tom.
What? That's the one I see here.
Oh, my.
Let's take a look. Fuck it. I fucked that up. Tweets and replies. Zinni, that's what I saw. What is here?
I'm not sure what they're talking about. Which one are they talking about? Don't let the timeline today distract you from the fact that Midnight GG scammed me out of my champs winnings and disappeared off the face of the earth. Is it that one?
I have no fucking idea.
I
have no idea. I have no. Listen, guys, I don't fucking know.
Who gives a fuck?
I have no idea. I don't fucking know.
Midnight GG, fuck me.
I don't understand. I
mean, I feel bad for him, but Red Reserve's still 50K from fucking people.
Reread the what?
The reply.
Listen, this game got mixy. I let these went around here, and then they try to work another A plant, and Minnesota shuts them down. Good plays out of them. Run this shit up. I'll handle the tweets. Who gives a fuck? Pee on forehead. Okay, that's all I got out of that.
John, the one about John.
What did they say, Zin?
About John. Basically, he started some drama. Cap replied. A bunch of people started replying. He said, all love for John, but TJ, Hook, or Venom should have been out there playing. And then people roasted him, and he said, LMAO soft. We say shit like this on the flank all the time. Listen, man, I feel for people that lose, but I'm tweeting for analysis.
He's not wrong with that tweet.
Who said that?
Haggy.
It's not like an out-of-bounds opinion that he can just spit on Twitter. I think he's kind of right.
Yeah, I mean, Haggy's a pretty smart guy. A lot of the times when Haggy's in these Twitter arguments and shit, I'm usually agreeing with Haggy for most of them. I feel like Haggy's a pretty smart guy when it comes to this stuff.
He's 100% not arguing about this one. We just talked about it earlier in the show.
Yeah.
So some of the JCap's response to what did JCap say?
What did JCap say, Zinni, co-host Zinni?
JCap was basically like, wow, how bold and courageous of you to say this in hindsight. And then...
But I think that's out of bounds for Cap. Hold up, but go ahead, though.
And then, okay, so... Then Haggy, so it's like a maze here. Then Haggy told Cap to go look at his reply to Fellow. His reply to Fellow is, Fellow said, that's hindsight and a half. Parasite said, no it's not. I felt the same after the major, but given the time of the substitution, I gave him the benefit of the doubt to improve. Although it was one match, it doesn't seem like much has changed. Small sample size, albeit. Back to Cap. So Parasite told Cap to look at that reply. Cap then came back and said, maybe one day soon I'll lose composure and hop on the flank with you and explain a lot of different shit from this year. But today isn't that day, so you win this one.
We need to have like a counseling session for like all these players on Thieves apparently. Like,
Tactical Rab's got to be rubbing one out, huh, Zin?
Oh my god. What's going on, guys? Today, big fucking news. As Parasite tweeted the following, and JCap called him Captain Hindsight. This is fucking crazy news. And our kid's probably joining Thieves.
Listen, bro, I love Tactical Rab. We gotta try and get him on this weekend. But the problem is maybe Sunday.
How are we gonna get him on?
TeamSpeak. What do you mean?
I know, but like, bro, we're going live at like 6 p.m. Pacific.
Well,
so
Sunday there's on. That's why I said Sunday. You moron. You gotta let me talk sometimes. You don't let me fucking talk.
Fine. Sheesh, man.
Hey, where's my wine? I had wine over here.
The wine's right here.
And next thing I don't know, but where's my cup?
I know what you do your cup.
What the fuck? But you
all
know
right,
what I mean.
Let's get back to the map, bro.
Get back into it. Let me get my cup.
5-3. We watch Minnesota play this map a lot. They're very disciplined on defense. They're very methodical on offense. They just kind of like work the map really well, and we're getting a lot of first bloods. And I think on the Thief side, as Slasher alluded to when he was in the chat, I just think the S&D tactical depth wasn't there, decision making wasn't there, and that is how Minnesota squeaked by in this series. I think if they played, I don't know how you feel.
Pete Dog going the fuck off too. Say something about Pete Dog.
Oh yeah, we love Pete Dog, and at times he struggled this year. And I think in the last 2 months, especially with the role change, him moving to AR, things started to come into form again. We know how much of a dynamic playmaker he can be in both respawns and search. I feel like at times in the last like 18 to 24 months, he's had a lot of like dud series and dud games. And almost in the same way that we see from Dashy in that flex role, I feel like Preston's very much the X factor in this team. If he's playing well, they look really good in the respawns and search. And when he's not playing well, I think their search game is still strong, but that's where their respawns really start to struggle.
Yeah. Well, let's get into the next one because we have OpTic Chicago going up against the Florida Mutineers. And I love Florida, man. I love it, but they just haven't done it for me all year. It's just been so many ups and downs. They had the talent, but it's just I feel like enough is enough.
It never worked.
Enough is enough.
Well, you were talking about scrims earlier.
I feel like
one second.
I do love all these
Ben,
guys,
go
by
ahead.
the way. They're all great guys. I was talking to them
We were
today.
talking about scrims earlier, and to me, you guys maybe don't see it, but like, it's the same way in practice. There are days where they get on and they fry the best teams, and there are days where they get on and they get deep fried. There's no like middle with the team, and I think that's been their struggle all year in all their activity. They were never able to swing consistently. They had that one stretch for like 2 or 3 weeks online where they were very good, but then they got to the major and they were never able to really capitalize on that. They never had that deep run in the event, and unfortunately now their season is over.
And for me, I love the sign. I love how they brought it to F3 sign.
RIP F3.
All right, RIP F3. I mean, the kid was an absolute legend. He was a beast, and it's a shame, man. And he's
He would have been so good this year. I
Yeah.
promise.
This
you.
game fit his play style like crazy,
He
bro.
would have been so good this year, bro.
It
And
fit his
it's
play
fucking-
style like crazy, man. Let's get an
It's
F3
still
spam in a
so hard
fucking
to
chat,
believe,
man. Show some love to F3.
RIP, bro.
I mean, yeah, I hate talking about it because I was talking to him a lot at the time. We were getting him on New York when everything happened. F3 was coming to New York to come play with me, Clay, and the guys. So we were talking to him, and it was rough, bro. That one was rough, and we love him, and he's up in heaven now. He's in a better place, and he's watching down on us. And I thought it was a very nice gesture for them to come out with a sign to say F3 because I thought he would have been insane at this game. So shout out to Pharaoh, man. But let's get into the match. I'll kick things off by saying again, OpTic need to work on their S&D, same indecisiveness, same bullshit. But Florida just couldn't compete in the response.
You know, OpTic is low key become the best Moscow hardpoint team. I don't know when that happened. Like very quickly, it's like that. It's honestly them and Dallas are like excellent at this map. I don't know who I was talking to. I think I was talking to Adam prior to this after the last OpTic series, and I'm like, man, like OpTic's gonna get like. He's like, oh, Florida's got a chance in this series. I'm like, no, bro. Like OpTic's gonna get this Moscow hardpoint. We've seen that Florida can be really good on this map. Neptune does this thing. But OpTic just does it back to them, and man, this was just not close.
Yeah, it wasn't close, and I think you also got an OpTic team that got put into losers bracket early, and now they're gonna come out with some revenge.
They had to play the same day. It's not like they get to sit around.
And it seemed like with the New York series, at least to me, it looked like OpTic was getting better as the series went on.
Yeah.
In terms, except for the last map where I just felt like it was so many little mistakes out of them, and a team like New York is gonna take advantage of it. So. OpTic came out in this Florida series, and I had a feeling OpTic was going to smoke them. I don't know why. It's just a team like OpTic who honestly was playing well against New York. Went to a Game 5. It was a hard loss, and then, they were able to bounce back and win it. So we're not doing any listenings. It doesn't work.
No, do you want to do the listening? I don't think the listenings were like
we're not crazy.
like earth-shattering or...
Okay. All right. Well,
otherwise we'll do them tomorrow.
Chat, let me know if you're watching on YouTube in the comments down below. If you guys really enjoy the listenings, I think if the listening is exciting.
Yeah, but they were in an exciting listening.
Yeah.
Today.
If they're more exciting, let me know. But drop down below some of your
People
comments.
say OpTic does come out hot. We talked about this earlier, man. Like, it is really hard these events to be like preparing for 3 weeks and come out and have to play that kind of series with that much on the line. Traditionally, you went to events. Even at COD Champs, your first series was in pool play. If you fucked that up, you were still fine as long as you grind the rest of your series. These teams don't have that luxury. And for teams like these in Florida, they most certainly did not have that luxury because one series lost and they were out of the tournament.
Yeah. OpTic has a good formula in Moscow. They just know how to play it. They're always ahead of rotation. They're very good on their breaks. They always take their time. I feel like this is one of those maps where, like, methodically, they play it to perfection. Like, they're really good at this map. And in Florida, what do you think happens with this team moving forward? Because they're done. They're finished. Finito. Forget about it.
Oh, I don't know.
I think they're an interesting player in the. I thought Thieves would be the first team in the off season to really like kind of be the potentially the first domino because that's sort of how roster moves work, right? Everybody's kind of waiting on one or two players. They make their moves and everybody waits. I'm curious if Florida is going to maybe position themselves because they've got some interesting pieces. We saw at times this season Awakening and Neptune were very good. We've seen Skies had some incredible series, Havoc some incredible series. I'm very curious, like, I think Neptune and Big Wake are probably keepers. I'm very curious to see what Florida does with the other 2 players on the team.
Yeah. I don't know, Zim, what do you think? Because you were about to talk and you stopped yourself.
I mean, I don't know. I think Neptune stays. I think
Big Wake or Skies?
I don't know.
Or both?
I mean, I feel like they may try both. I mean, they are 2 good players. I think they might try both. If not, I mean,
shots.
If not, who knows? I haven't even accounted for that, to be honest. I kind of just assumed that Skies and Awakening and Neptune maybe would look for like a stronger Slayer, but
excuse me.
I honestly I can't even guess. I really don't know.
Go on to the next one. This is a fucking blowout.
Yeah.
They got shit on. All right, we're going into the second map. It was the S&D. I don't know what they're going to do. I think it's a tough situation for them because Florida is such a talented roster, but it's just not working. And I think sometimes that happens. Sometimes you have rosters that on paper you're like, Maron, these guys are going to be fucking good. And sometimes they come out and you say, Maron, these guys are fucking good. But too many times this year, they just keep losing, and they're not producing results, and they're just not doing it, man. And I think for me, you can't get rid of Neptune because he's the young gun. He's the the superstar. He's been hitting form, and the potential and the ceiling that you see from the kid is insane. So I think Travis is gonna stay, and then I think the rest of them, is tough because you have Awakening and Skies, who a lot of people say can't play together, but they're both phenomenal players. They are.
I think from talking to people around the league,
I
think the sense from a lot of teams and players, and this could be misguided because there's players and teams saying that, is they feel like Florida's a team that plays a lot off of vibes, but really don't have that like pedigree of winning or that like understanding of like the kind of mindset you need to like consistently win. I think that's probably like the biggest thing they need to address in the offseason. They clearly have the talent, but the inconsistency comes from just not being like level with both your like individual understanding as players and also like decision making. And I want to see them address that because I think that they can then really start to elevate themselves back to that like level we saw when they won those back-to-back events in Modern Warfare and then struggle at champs. Like I just feel like we haven't seen them at that level yet.
And listen, I think OpTic could have won 3-0 here. They have to figure out their search. I know I said it multiple times already, but I'm sure they got to be in the hotel room now watching these S&Ds back, right? They got to be.
Well, you and I have talked about this privately. Like they did a really good job in the middle of this year getting good S&D understanding, and they went on that run. But you got to continue that innovation, that change up, because teams are going to get a lot of film on you. They're going to know what you do, and I feel like they're back to the same problem they had, which is people understand that they don't have like a super deep strat book. They run a lot of defaults. OpTic's now got to come out and think series by series, how can we tweak our S&D a little bit to be more unpredictable?
100%. And they got to figure it out quick because it's the last event of the year. They struggled today, and they didn't win a search today. So I'm sure they're going back and watching it. And that's been their positive throughout the year. And we talk about it. Listen, you can have good game modes. Florida, I think S&D was one of their better game modes. But they're too inconsistent at the other ones. And that's where I think the top teams are different from the teams on that second end of the spectrum. Because they don't have any weak game modes. They're sharpening up their map pools. They're sharpening up their game modes. So I think, for me, I had OpTic winning this one, but they really need to sharpen up their S&Ds.
1 second.
We'll see how it all plays out tomorrow.
Body?
Did Awakening shoot his body?
That's what we were saying in chat. Do you guys know what round that happened in?
Chat, Awakening shot his body.
Awakening shot Seth's body.
That's brave. That's brave.
Holy fuck.
It's a little risky.
That's brave. I fuck with it though. Why not?
He's got a dick on him.
He must got a pair of fucking balls. I'll tell you that, Zing.
His testicles must hit his feet when he walks.
You think so? You think they're touching his feet?
Go to the last round. Go to the last round.
Go to the last round.
First off, if you care about someone shooting bodies, fuck off. Number 2, the balls on him, man. Congratulations. That takes some serious confidence.
Yeah, he's
but
got big
definitely
nuts.
don't shoot bodies till you win the series.
Wait,
it's
was
one thing
the
to shoot
first round
bodies.
First round or third round?
They said last round. They said.
Yeah, last
well,
round.
What does last round mean? This is
they shot the body.
No, like the final round. Like the final round.
Final round.
Final round of the map. Okay.
The last round. The final one.
We'll get to it. I mean, this was.
It was another blowout. It was a
OpTic
blowout.
started to
First
make
round,
something
blowout.
happen.
Second
They
round.
started to win a couple of rounds.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, this was a pretty convincing Florida victory, and then the respawns were all OpTic though. I mean, the control was like a little close, but hardpoint wise, it was pretty much all OpTic.
I like Florida and S&D because they're unpredictable. They hit routes. They have a lot of playmakers, a lot of individual talent.
No, they're a good search team.
Yeah, they're a really good search team. If they would have just been able to lock up some of these respawns going into champs, like to really set the pace in some of these, like if they were to come out and just win first map or something, you know, like really come out and win it.
Oh, there's the body
Oh my
shot
God!
right
Awakening
he lit him
tweeted
up.
after. Awakening tweeted after. That sucks. LOL. All you dick riders can stop tweeting me now. Jesus Christ.
Well, I mean, that's what happens when you shoot OpTic's body. Now he knows.
Oh shit! He
You
lit him up.
if you're gonna shoot bodies, you gotta win the series, man.
I never shot.
Tom
Okay, that's not
Reynolds.
true. I used to shoot bodies.
You shoot a
all the time.
lot of bodies. What are you talking about?
Okay, when I was 18, 19 years old, I lit
Bro,
everybody.
you
up.
lit everybody.
But I didn't like anybody. They had it fucking coming though. Once
Wait,
I had to
Yeah,
slap
back
them
then
up.
it was
Wait,
different, man. Back then
Cap,
it was different.
How many rounds have you shot in Lamar's body through your entire career?
Me on Lamar's body?
Yeah.
Tons. But you talking about in practice? In practice, Lamar used to light me up. I had to
you
light
guys
him
would go
up
back
back.
and forth, yeah.
The ARs always used to light me up. Austin lit me up. Lamar lit me up, and Octane used to light me up. Those are the
I
top
let him lit
3.
your ass up. You are annoying, man. You're
Zinni
always
lit
just
me up.
behind
Yeah,
him.
yeah. Everybody used to lit me up, and I used to say these guys. I used to, you know me. I got my body shot. A lot of people used to say, you know, I'm soft. I was a soft. I liked it. I liked it. You know,
You're definitely not soft. You want to know how I know you're not soft? It was,
people think I'm soft.
It was like CWL Anaheim. We were playing E United. Do you remember the series? You guys reverse swept them. Like Clay won a 1v1 against you in map 2 and talk shit, and then you fry them the next 3 maps.
I remember it.
Yeah.
It was the same thing when I couldn't see my screen at champs, and I went 4-22, and I looked over on the side of the stage, and I saw Studdy and Donnie and Ricky and Brucey, Dashy, pointing at the monitor. I saw them pointing at their monitor, laughing. They were all looking at each other, laughing. I said, fix this fucking screen. It used to pump me up. It used to make me a better player. But some people, you know, I feel like it makes everybody a better player. When you get your body shot, I feel like it just makes people turn up. That's why you gotta wait till the series is over, huh, Zin?
Yeah, listen, man. You wait till the very end, then you let that motherfucker sing. Word to Fat
Yeah,
Tony.
bro.
You know what I'm saying? You let that chopper sing all over their body, man. But
Speaking
listen,
of Fat Tony,
if
I
you're
heard you
gonna-
got a little girlfriend now on GTA.
no, wait. They were trolling you.
Okay, I heard you got curved twice.
I would never take ASIM's girl on GTA.
Oh, you
never.
heard about this?
I would fucking hope not.
Zinni took
Fat-
Asim's girl in GTA.
Or we're gonna have a problem, Zen, if
Fat
that's the
Tony
case.
respected Winter. He was very polite. He was very kind.
You killed her.
No, not Winter. Jazzy. We killed Jazzy 3 times. She
3 times
disrespect-
you killed her.
She disrespected me, so we killed her 3 times. We said Fat Tony doesn't forgive. Fat Tony doesn't forget.
Okay.
We let her have it. Anyways,
right.
back to the
Back
topic.
to the match. Back to the match.
Listen, man. If you're gonna shoot bodies, it's also different because back then, comms were more screaming at your opponent than talking in game. Like back in like Ghosts and Black Ops 2 era, if you literally listened to comms, Mr. X did not coach complexity. Mr. X sat there and screamed at the opponents at the top of his lungs for 10 minutes straight, every single map. Whoever was doing bad,
he
Mr.
did call out
X would
occasionally
scream.
though.
Yeah.
If someone got EMP,
Occasionally,
if someone got,
occasionally.
I found out from
Mr.
Clay.
X's job was one time. I didn't feel well. I was on SOAR. This was fucking. We placed 4th at the event. This is UMG Atlanta, I believe.
Yeah.
He just sitting there screaming the entire map because I'm getting shit on. Methods, you're nervous. Holy fuck! for 10 minutes straight. And I act like I didn't hear him. I was like, oh,
Clay-
well, I didn't hear you at all.
Clay once told me that he would talk shit other than when someone got EMP and he would call out for them.
Yeah, it's not a bad play. Honestly, can you imagine if coaches were still on stage? Forget it.
Nah,
I feel like it'd be
horrible.
different.
But yeah, listen, like shooting bodies back then was just part of it. Now it's
Man,
like,
what
oh
a
my
fucking
god.
shot by
We
Formal.
didn't talk about this round on
What a
OpTic.
shot, though.
I mean, bro, like they play the transition
That's good
game
shots
here
out of the
so
kid.
well, man.
That was an incredible shot. So, Zinni, you think you could do that?
I can shoot well, man.
I'm just fucking with you.
I can shoot well,
Good
man.
shots though there from Formal, man. I like that. I like how they work stacks and force Florida to fucking push, and then they got the kills. And then right here, what does Formal do immediately? Where does he go?
He's going
Top plane.
right to the side.
Right to the place where he can cut people off and be a nuisance with his AR, hit those lanes. He gets his positioning. Nice shots onto fucking Caesar Skies. He fucking sees another one. He calls him out, puts some nice shots into Havoc, gets him tagged. All these tags are annoying, chat. Even if he's not getting kills. Right? Yeah, look, then he fucking
Well,
beams him. He doesn't miss a bullet.
Neptune kind of trolled here. I think he should try and get top lane. But besides that, I really like the rotational play from
I
one.
agree.
Then, bro, at this point, it's shocked because like you get this wood spawn, spawn trap.
Chucked. At this point, I think OpTic did a great job getting kills, and their decisiveness, they instantly hit that point, instantly got plane control, and pinned Florida right in their face.
Oh my god, he's having.
Which that is the best way to win a checkmate offense. You get the 8 point, you get the kills when they try to break it, and then you chain the B point.
And then they're nervous because they're just going to chow 1v1 because they see you stacking the point and they're running into crossfires.
Mm-hmm. And that was the first offense checkmate we saw today on checkmate control, was it not? The first one. Offense is not easy to do, and OpTic was able to do it, so a heads-up play out of them. I think Florida trolled a little bit when I think Neptune, like you said, should have definitely went playing there. I don't know why he didn't. And then it looked like they just 3-hit the lane when they were capping A.
They were just
which was an interesting play. I don't know.
And
but then we go into the Apocalypse Hardpoint, and again, OpTic does exactly what they did to New York off the rip.
Yeah,
the same thing.
I will give OpTic credit.
The 3-piece that Envoy had was incredible in HUD.
It was incredible, and I wonder, like, on the OpTic side, if they put a lot of work into APOC Hardpoint. It's another, like, interesting dimension to their Hardpoint game, as they've struggled at times on Garrison. I like this APOC if they've got it now in the rotation. It makes teams going to really have to think against them in the vetoes. Especially with their strength on Moscow as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, show the 3-piece because I definitely want to highlight
Where's
that.
the 3-piece? Was it P1
I don't know,
or
he
P2?
was in HUD. People are saying Scump tweet. Well, Scump came out after the New York series. He said, GG's New York playing forward in a bit, hashtag brick by brick. And then next he said, GG's Florida, 1-3-1er in advance to tomorrow, playing the loser of Dallas and Toronto. I mean, nothing crazy, chat. Scump
I'm not going to lie, that is very, very scary. I mean, Dallas or OpTic, Dallas or Ultra are both very strong. The fact that one of those 3 teams is going home top 6 is pretty scary.
Zin, but look at a competition in this top 8.
I know. Trust me.
It's fucking unbelievable. And you would be saying that about anybody playing each other. The fact that this team might be going home tomorrow is nuts. Right. You say it every day. I mean, this is the one thing I do like about the format is all the top teams are here. There's no fugazi. Every match is a good one.
Definitely no fugazi.
No fugazi at all. Every match is a fucking banger. And again, I think OpTic just outclassed Florida here.
They put Florida in the blender, man. It's just like this map is so hard when you're just in break situations. Mm-hmm. You got to get up and maximize the money hills and look at it. OpTic obviously were able to get that big P2 time, P3 time. They're already up 100 seconds, and it's not even the end of the first rotation.
I like how OpTic thinks ahead there. Going into P3 to P4, they think, you know what, we might not be able to break this P3 spawn or this P4 spawn, but let's at least play for those spawns.
Well, that's what a lot of teams do. Is you just kind of play through P3.
They play through P3. They force themselves through the back. I'm surprised that more teams aren't stacking that now. Just playing the hill on Rock, having like a guy on hill and a guy playing like mid L-wall type area, just letting them get hut in front and just making sure you secure the back on rotation because it's got to be obvious and predictable now that teams are going to start pushing around the back. You know, OpTic 3 hit the back and there was one guy back there holding it, just one. The rest of them were all over the rest of the map. So I think it was good heads up play at OpTic, but I think, you know, a team like Florida, like some of these top teams need to start picking up on the tendencies that people do throughout the year to break some of these hills. I think maybe they just got caught off guard there, but it was a great heads-up play out of OpTic because as long as they have such a big lead from the start, as long as they stay ahead of rotations and focus on
100 seconds.
You don't need to play. You just need to focus on spawns. You know, play the game the right way, and you're good to go.
Bro, they did the 4-hit again, dude. How does this keep working? Number 7 gives it up, dude. It's actually. I'm telling you guys,
it worked again,
dude. Zin is not wrong, man. I've seen a lot of teams attempt this play, and it is like incredibly risky, and I'm actually
this is very different. They just walked through and no one was even there.
Well, I don't know why Neptune.
Why did number 7 give it up though? Yeah, Neptune shouldn't have given it up. He saw them. I think he saw how many there were and played his life. That's why he did that.
Oh yeah, he was weak.
No, that was a good play. That was a good play.
Actually.
It was a good play. He saw a bunch of them and said, "I'm not gonna die. I'm gonna back up and call it out. We're gonna lock down this P1 time, and I'm gonna play my life in the back." Even that little hesitation right there from Envoy was a good play, but he made a good play. I like the play from Travis or Neptune.
Well, they ended up getting all the kills, so it worked out.
Yeah, but I think it's better to play your life there and back up and give it up than to challenge 3 guys and die.
What happens here?
I don't know. And then OpTic, they were able to get some of this scrap. Does Florida lose this?
They get flipped out, so I'm trying to see how it happens.
So let's take a look.
Skies gets gone in the window.
That's a big one. That Skies died right there. That was a big one.
Out.
What's he doing pushing through mid like that? Go back.
Number 7?
I guess it's not. I don't know. I guess it's not too bad. It seemed like they just like forced it. No.
Yeah, I mean he could have just kind of finessed around.
They don't have to do anything. Just play cross angles. Let OpTic make the play. Don't make plays. That's the problem, and I had this problem, is when you're in the advantage, sometimes players feel the need to constantly be making plays. You have to know when to slow it down and just hold.
That's why I agree a lot of times with Austin's POV on COD. It's like, you need to set yourself up to
There's a
like,
balance,
have space
though,
for your playmakers,
you
but you
know?
also need to, like, in many situations, the 3 players need to be set up to just kind of hold an angle. Or better yet, it's not just about holding angles, but being able to rotate the different sides of the map, being able to play trades and crossfires.
No, 100%. No, 100%. And I guess at this point, Florida, they're mounting a little bit of a comeback here. You know, you see some mistakes here or there. But I think OpTic, once they broke in here, it was a wrap.
Oh, Form got 3 pieces of sub? With a
He
sub?
picked it up, I think. Did he pick it up? He must have. He picked that shit up. He ledge slid off. He's a fucking maniac. Maron.
Tippable.
That was one of those things where it was a nice play and the casters didn't see it. Remember, Formo was talking about that 4-piece in AW with the sniper and the casters didn't get it. That was nuts, man. That was nuts. Good play out of him. They were able to break on in, and OpTic played good. They played good. Big win there. That was nice. It was a nice fucking win. Florida had a chance to bring this one back. Look, even right here, I mean, they're holding spawns. Look at this. They could win this here. That can't happen. That can't happen.
And then Colt overcompensated for Sky's dying. He's assuming that they're all about to hit front.
Again.
He's running out of coop to help. He gets pinched. It's a full-on collapse.
That's a situation where how is OpTic getting kills when they're not even pushed out yet? They're just holding angles, just preeming the hill. Florida has to let OpTic make a play. They have to. They can't just overchow and ego chow.
Sky shouldn't even look. Sky should be throwing a shoulder. That's it. That's the only thing he should be doing there is getting info, and then the person in coop can help him.
Yep. So I think right there was another mishap. I think it's good plays out of OpTic again, but Florida shouldn't even be peeking to begin with. They could peek, but throw shimmies. Play your life. Stay alive. I mean,
good play is another person's misplay, Thomas.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what's gonna happen against a good team. They're gonna take advantage of the misplays. So this one was a wrap. Florida tried to make it mixy, but at this point it's over. You know, 100 points. The OpTic guys are feeling good. The green wall was going fucking nuts. Everybody was losing their fucking mind. Unbelievable energy from the green wall, man. I love it, man. In the crowd, you guys are unbelievable, man. I had a blast, even though there was a lot of booze. And we were having fun with it. I was having fun in the crowd with you guys. So shout out to OpTic. Shout out to the green wall. Shout out to the Florida Mutineers. Maybe not the best year, but sure had an entertaining year. They entertained me the whole year. They were a fun team to watch.
They're definitely a fun team to watch.
Talented players.
They were here. I mean,
they were here.
They did their thing. They had their matches. Unfortunately, we're never able to put it together. But I think for the entire year, we sort of spoke about them as like this is an underdog team. They have the pieces. They're just inconsistent. When they're playing well, they're playing well. Unfortunately, just couldn't sharpen it up on a consistent level.
What the fuck is Miles doing over here?
Jesus, that guy's a fucking moron.
This guy's fucking hilarious, though.
Bro, Miles, if you're watching this, bro, what's going on here, man?
Miles, you're a fucking moron, and I love it, bro. I love it.
Let's get some predictions going on.
But what happened? The guy from the flank. What happened there, Miles? What happened, bro? Tomorrow, Miles, I want to hear something different. You know, when I come out on stage, I want to hear something different, bro. But listen, let's get into predictions. I still love you, though. You're the fucking man. Ben, what are your thoughts about the matches tomorrow? Because I'm looking at these matches and know what I have to say? Maron! Maron! These are fucking nuts!
4 bangers in a row. Like banger, 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 banger. It's like going to a fucking Travis concert. He's opening with Stargazing. Bang! You know what I'm saying?
It's actually a good reference, bro.
It's a good reference.
And then next it's sicko mode, and you're like, fuck!
Unfucking believable. Well, let's kick it off with our predictions. We got Toronto versus Dallas tomorrow. And Dallas looked good, really good to me today. They did.
I'm gonna make a prediction.
I still think Toronto's a better team, though.
I don't know who I was talking to, but I think we were talking last time we were with the boys. I said that I think the final's gonna be Atlanta-Dallas. I just think Dallas is just one of those teams with the way that the organization's built and the folks. I think they're just gonna be really prepared. I think there's gonna be an absolute banger of a series gonna go down to Game 5.
I think so.
Maybe
too.
a Moscow S&D, and I think Dallas are gonna clutch up. Yeah.
Oh, you got Toronto. I got Toronto.
Dallas.
You got Dallas 3-2. So 3-2 Game 5s. I got Toronto. He's got Dallas. Zinni, where you at, kid? Hear me. Let me hear you.
I got 3-2 Toronto. I mean, I would be shocked if this didn't go Game 5.
Okay.
Should be a fucking.
Regardless, I don't know who the fuck is winning. It's a prediction. You know, I don't know. I'm throwing something out of my ass, but I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. Then we get into the next one. It's Atlanta FaZe going up against the New York Subliners. I got New York every day of the fucking week. I'm biased and I don't give a fuck. And not only because they won today and look good, they've already taken FaZe down twice this year. I know they can do it. They just need to come out and be the same New York they were today. But on the other side, you have the best team in the game, in my opinion, all year. From the start of the year to now, I think FaZe has had that #1 spot. To me, they're the best team. But I also heard they've been absolutely frying in practice. I heard FaZe has been on another level. I haven't heard it. I've seen it. I've seen that shit. So this is going to be fucking nuts. ZooMaa never picks Dallas. That's not true. I picked Dallas. It's hard. Dallas just confuses the fuck out of me, to be honest.
They are a very confusing team.
They confuse the fuck out of me. I think they're incredible, and I have chosen Dallas to win numerous times. That's not true. I do tend to vote on the opposite side of it, but it's usually when they're playing top teams like Toronto or some other fucking top teams. Or FaZe or shit. I just think Toronto's a good team, personally. I mean, come on. You can't take it away from Toronto.
I think Tom is going to be actually... I'm seeing a lot of like 3-0, 3-1 phases. I think FaZe is going to win this series, but I actually think it's another game 5. I really like what I saw from OpTic in the response. I think they're going to give FaZe a lot of problems. I think FaZe will put them away in that game 5, but it's not going to be without a great effort from the New York boys.
I hope it's a good effort. I hope we have a good series. I don't want to see a blowout. I want to see a good series. And I'm saying a blowout on either side. I just want to see them go at it. I want to see both teams at their peak level just battling it out. I hope one team doesn't come out flat and we get a boring series.
And I agree with Zin. It's
but I would love New
actually
York
crazy
to see New York
looking at
3-0,
this.
for sure.
Someone out of OpTic, Toronto or Dallas is going to be going home after Friday. That is wild.
And then you have the champs in Minnesota who won the last event, and then New York and Atlanta potentially going home.
One of them's going home.
It's a fucking bloodbath. These guys are out for blood. They could taste it.
And on Friday too. On Friday they're gonna be gone. So,
yeah, on Friday.
Fuck. Listen,
on Friday,
man.
It's nuts.
It's
fucking nuts.
I got FaZe 3-1. I don't think that we'll see the poor play from them like we saw at the most recent major. New York looked great today. I don't think it's a test. I'm not taking a shot at New York, or I'm not like thinking that they're not good enough. I just think FaZe is on that next level, right? Like they obviously have a chip on their shoulder.
Yeah, we'll see, bro. It's gonna be a
so I'm
good
gonna say
series.
FaZe.
Tom and I talked to the FaZe boys, and they felt like after the last major, and they had a weird sort of event where they felt like in practice they were playing really loose, and they pulled up to the matches and they were just making 0 plays on the map. Just kind of letting guys like Classic and Guns kind of just be the aggressors, which should be the other way around. So from my understanding, they're putting a lot of effort into just like trying to do the fundamentals, but also having that like aggressive play style that they've been famous for this year. So I'm curious to see kind of how they start this major off.
Well,
or
regardless,
sorry, champs off, not the major.
Regardless, listen, we have an incredible day at COD tomorrow. We had an incredible day today. This is a
great show.
Listen, this is an absolute pleasure, Ben.
Awesome
I've been
show.
having a blast doing this stuff. Zinni, thank you for coming on. It's not over yet, but because you gotta hit a puff for us, and you know you gotta hit a fucking puff for us. And chat, before we do end the show, Ben's gonna hit a puff for us. And after the show ends, stay tuned. If you're a subscriber in the chat and want a chance to win a pair of Astro 840s with the new the blue Ice Pop microphone, then go ahead and stay in the chat and get ready for a giveaway, because we're gonna do that after the show live in here in the chat. So I appreciate you guys. But let's take a look. Let's switch over to the big screen and let's go on board with Benjay Nassim. Damn, you thick!
What, bro?
Hit this fucking putt. I want to see you hit it. Come on. You might need to step aside after you hit, because we can't see the cup.
Can't see the cup?
Okay, we can see it a little bit now. Just back up when you hit it, okay?
Well, this is hard.
That's good. That's good right there. I like that.
That's not straight.
He's lining it up, chat. He's lining it up. Look.
That is straight.
He's lining it up. He doesn't...
I trust how I lined up.
How is it? I think it's going left to right. I think the carpet's slanted.
Yeah, the cup is definitely slanted.
It's slanted, Ben. Move!
Oh, it's in.
It's in. No, doesn't count.
It's
Listen,
in.
no. Put the cup on my end over here towards me, and you stand over there. Doesn't count.
You told me to go the other way.
No, Ben. I told you to do it this way before the show started. This way, I told you to do it.
Well, I made that putt, to be fair.
Nice. This is way better. Like this.
I made that putt.
That doesn't count, chat. That doesn't count. Listen, we're gonna take it off subscribers only mode. I'm gonna let you guys go fucking rogue. Welcome to the fucking stream. Go ahead, Ben. Line it up.
Give me the couple.
Line it up, Ben. How you feeling?
Feeling good. I'm putting more on my shoulders.
Okay. He's eyeing it up. He's lining it up. He steps on the green. He's gonna. Okay, we'll give it to you, I guess. We'll give it to him. Hey, Ben, take it easy. Take it easy. Chat, listen. I'm gonna give it to him. Because that was going into the cup. There's nothing in the cup, so it
literally hit the cup.
Listen. There's nothing in the cup, okay? So it's light. When the ball hits the front of the cup,
Best of
it
3. I
pushes
made
the
2
cup.
putts, so I got
You know
it.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we'll give it to you, Ben. We'll give it to you. But chat, listen. Before we head out, if you guys did miss the beginning of the show, I'm going to run the blue Ice Pop Astro microphone one more time. There's a commercial just in case you guys missed it. Please give me your thoughts in the comments down below. And we'll take a look. I got one more thing to say after the commercial, but let's take a look. Communication. Get it. Astro Gaming and Blue Microphones. New Ice Pop microphones. Astro Gaming and Blue Microphones. More like headset power 5,000. You deserve better. Get better. Call 1-800-ASTRO headsets now. We got your Astro headsets. We got your Blue microphones. We got your Astro headsets with the Blue microphones.
Are you serious?
I don't joke about this kind of thing. Do you have bad comms? Get him out of here. Astro Gaming headset. Blue microphone. Put it together just like that. You're already done. So easy.
Oh, what are you looking at?
Get better. Call now at 1-800-BlueMicrophones.com. Get communication today, or we're gonna have some problems.
Undisputed, 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 undisputed. I'm on my John Jones. I'm on my John Jones. I'm on my John Jones.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the new blue Ice Pop microphones from Astro. Okay, so I will be giving away 2 of these right now after we end the show. Guys, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Guys, are you guys enjoying this? Are you guys having fun? Because I think we got something good going on here. I think throughout the weekend, too, we're going to have some people joining us on the couch. Today, I want to thank Zinni for hopping on TeamSpeak. Zinni, I would love to have you every day. Zinni, if you want to come on every day, it's always a pleasure. Huh?
Where else am I gonna be?
I don't know.
Eating froyo somewhere.
You
like
know,
froyo
I don't know.
I mean, listen, unless I'm out hammered somewhere, this is where I'll be. I mean, you
All
never
right.
know
No,
what
Unless you're out
That's
partying
great.
with Nav again, man.
Unless I'm at a restaurant eating the fucking A5, you know what I'm saying? I'll be
The
here,
only
man.
the only problem I'm thinking is if we do have guests on the show, I don't know how
Yeah.
they're gonna hear Zinni if we have him
Well,
in
no,
the
it's
TeamSpeak.
fine. I mean, if you have
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
if you have guests in person, I mean, it's
Yeah, we
I mean,
might
it's
we might
probably-
change it up throughout the weekend, but I love having you on, Big Tony. I do. I love having you on, and thank you, man. Thank you for coming on.
course.
Shout out to Ben J. Nassim for helping me hook all
Thanks for
this
having
shit
me on.
up. Shout out to Soap, Wes, and Adam for helping me
They're
with all this
helping us
stuff.
produce the show this weekend.
Huge shout out to Astro Gaming again.
Shout out to Subliners,
for-
FaZe Clan for helping us out getting this set up.
100%. Shout out to Eric Anderson from FaZe to give us all the equipment. Shout out to the New York Subliners for treating me like absolute gold, especially literally fucking gold
Literally.
and diamonds. Fucking love you guys. Shout out to NYSL. And guys, thank you for all the love and support. This is absolutely phenomenal. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Make sure to go to anchor.fm/theflank to see all the audio sites, which apparently you've been missing a couple uploads. People
I have.
Apparently there's a couple uploads people haven't
What
seen
are you,
on
an
there. So
asshole?
Ben will
Well, let me know
take-
what's missing because it should be.
and make sure to follow the stream. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at ZOOMAA with 2 A's. And most importantly, follow Benji Nassim at Benji Nassim. Follow Methods at Methods. And follow The Flank at Twitter, at The Flank on Twitter. Guys, we also have a ZooMAFIA Reddit. We do a lot of stuff other than COD here in the stream. So go check out the ZooMAFIA Reddit, all right? We got a lot of cool stuff on there. And as always, guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. We'll see you guys tomorrow in another episode of The Flank here live at Call of Duty Champs.
Peace.
Have a good fucking day, guys. Take care.